Live from Tom Hope Field. Good evening, everybody, and welcome in to Clearview High School, where a brand new football season is officially underway. Tonight, the Clearview Clippers welcome in the Shaw Cardinals, which will be an exciting season opener. For Clearview, tonight is a chance to start a new chapter. The Clippers went 5-6 a season ago, but finished 5-2 in conference play, proving they can compete with the best teams on their schedule. And tonight, Clearview looks to start the 2026 season off on the right foot and see what this year's team is all about. And on the other side of things, the Shaw Cardinals are looking to turn the page and make a statement of their own. It's a new season, a clean slate, and a chance for Shaw football to establish their identity from the start. Two teams, one football field, and a brand new season. The lights are on, the players are ready, and we're just moments away from kickoff here at Clearview High School. I'm Jacob Brown, here with my sidekick Will Deans, and we're about to get some high school football underway.
And let me tell you, Jacob, I am very excited for the action that we have planned tonight. As you mentioned, Shaw 2-8 just a season ago. They did have one particularly good game against Collinwood, but even with that, they still could not manage a strong season. We'll be looking to see if they have the makings of a strong year tonight.
I was talking to Coach Knight, and he was telling me how confident he is with this team this year. He was telling me the confidence he has in his offensive line and his quarterback this year. He was telling me that's what he wants to most improve on this year, was his offensive line and his quarterback position. He feels like this team has an opportunity to make a state playoff push this year.
And I do think that they have what it takes, but it will all come down to the only word that matters, execution.
That is right, execution. And tonight, that's what the Clearview Clippers is looking for, is execution. Last year, they did not do that good outside of conference play. They're looking to have that be different this year and play good out of conference, and then also play good in conference how they did so well last year.
Of course. And right now we have the Clearview Band out here playing the final countdown for us. A very nice rendition, I have to say, but even with that, it appears that the Clippers are soon to make their entrance.
It sure indeed looks like it up. They have the Clearview Clippers signed up right now, looking like they're about to introduce their team. And And Will, I have a question for you. What do you think about the psychological standpoint of being the home team in your first game? Do you feel like that's like an advantage for your team, not having to go on the road your first game of the season?
Well, I can't speak for the players down on the field, but me personally, I know if I was in this situation, I would be as excited as ever getting to play in front of the home fans. First game of the year, the nerves would be a bit high, but the excitement would only be higher.
And on the other side, for the Shaw Cardinals, what do you think is psychological about coming away and try to play spoiler as the team in their opening game?
Well, I think it's going to be difficult. Last year, they were the worst team overall record. They were the worst team in conference play. And now they're coming in to a house that is not their own. They have to play against the fans, they have to play against the band, and they have to play against the team. It's not going to be an easy way.
Yes, sir, you were correct. And I just watched the Shaw team have a scrimmage last week versus a pretty good team that was a playoff team last year. And Shaw did pretty good in that scrimmage. Their offensive line executed, their quarterback executed, and right now it looks like the Clippers are about to head their way out.
It seems they are, so we will let them.
field and the crowd is excited. We're locked and loaded. It's good weather. It's back in football season. Let's go.
I tell you again, I cannot reiterate my excitement. It has been about a year since we last commentated a game together, and I tell you what, I've had this date marked on the calendar since then.
Yes,
It
sir, my friend.
has
Yes, sir.
been, it has felt like years. It's only been one, but it's felt like years. And I tell you what, I cannot wait to get back into it.
Oh yeah, this season I'm excited for this season. The crowd's excited. The band is playing good. What can you not ask for from high school football? And the Clearview Clippers won the toss. They deferred to the second half, so the Shaw Cardinals will open up on offense this game.
Just a quick note on the strategy of that. I've always liked the idea of deferring the first toss
Yeah,
because to me, it is this idea of forcing that pressure back onto your opponent. And I
and it
like that. I
and it
like that a
also
lot.
gives you the opportunity to make a mistake in the first half. If you make a mistake in the first half, you still have an opportunity to come back in the second half and get the ball versus you to score. If you throw a pick at the end, let's say for example you throw a pick at the end of the second quarter, you have a chance to get the ball back and put that ball back in the end zone and rekindle that mistake. So I
Very,
always will lean towards the first. It seems that like 90% of teams always defer to the second half. Don't blame me.
and there's a reason they do. There is a reason they do. You could always just kick it, but to me, there is nothing that can beat that psychological element of deferring.
We are just moments away from kickoff. The Cardinals are on the field, locked and loaded and ready. You know, one thing I noticed about some players, they have the head caps on. I like it. I like to see it. You know, you've seen a lot of that in the NFL.
Well, safety is always a win. We are just moments away from kickoff now.
The Clippers won the toss and deferred their choice to the second half. The Cardinals will receive tonight's opening kickoff.
The ref has handed the ball to the kicker, and we're about to get this football season underway.
I tell you what, I can't wait. The anticipation is killing me.
And the 2026 high school football season is underway. It is dropped by Shaw, and he is tackled down at his 26-yard line.
Well, you can certainly hope for a better opening return there. That was number 6, Dwayne Lumpkin.
You know, I was talking to Dejon Black for receiver for the Shaw Cardinals, and he was giving high praise for Dwayne Lumpkin. He was telling me he's the hardest player that gives him competition and practice. So we're gonna see some of Dwayne Lumpkin on defense probably today.
It appears our starting quarterback here is number 1, Xavier Harris. He has Lumpkin right beside him in that backfield. We'll see what he has here.
Shaw trips to the left, single backfield. Harris looking back at his sideline. Harris corrals the snap. Looking. He fires in the middle of the field and it is intercepted. The first play of the game. The Clearview Clippers get the interception. Immediately went away to start the season.
And I mean, that is just an electric way to start the season for the Clearview Clippers. That was number 12, Xavier Garcia. Xavier to Xavier right there, but you cannot imagine that is what Shaw wanted.
Not at all. I think Coach Randy Knight, or Coach Randy Knight wanted to go out there and establish we're here, and unfortunately that did not play out in their favor.
And on the opposite end, Coach Kaya, he had the muff on the punt return. That was a good sign. That right there, I think Kaya is going to be very confident in his Clippers coming out here.
The ball is on the Clearview Clippers 40. They come out with 2 running backs set, 2 back formation, 1 lined up behind him, 1 lined up on the side of him. The ball is snapped, handed off to the running back. He has a lane, and he is tackled down a couple yards past their 50 in the Shaw territory after 1 play.
That is number 0, Christopher Stevenson, got the handoff from Joe Stevens. And I'll tell you what, 5'9", 200, that man is a small tank. Compact
Yeah.
form, that's what you love from a running back.
He was running through that lane, and I got visions of Derrick Henry a little bit. He that's a big dude out there.
Me personally, I saw a little bit more Kinshawn Judkins.
Or maybe Eddie Lacy. But back to the action. They got two receivers on both sides. The ball snapped, handed off again, and he is tackled down for a gain of 5. And this is going to be a 3rd and 1 right here.
That was
This
Dante Mims of Shaw High School on the tackle there.
this is the first 3rd and 1 of the season. A big moment for the Shaw Cardinals. They need to stop right here. If not, they can keep going driving downfield.
And just as big a moment for Clearview, your first opportunity to show your ability to convert from short.
Single back formation. Ball snap. Passes out, double up to the right back, and he is tackled in the backfield. What a play from the Shaw Cardinals on 3rd down. What a stop.
That was Dwayne Lumpkin again coming in on defense now.
I was just talking about Dwayne Lumpkin. All his teammates give him high praise, especially about his defense. He gives them the most problems, and I was just bringing that up earlier on, and proves to show why his teammates give him such high praise.
Showing he's got cardio too, playing triple duty on six plays total. He went special teams, offense, and defense all in one.
The punt is off, and it is caught. And he is running. He has a lane, and he is tackled down at the Shaw 36-yard line.
That there was Dejon Black listed as wide receiver and strong safety for the Shaw Cardinals. We'll be looking out for him on both sides of the ball.
Both of these teams have players that play a lot of offense and defense, so we will see a lot of players being effective on the offense and defense side of the game.
Even still, we're going to be watching some big names, and from what we've seen so far, Lumpkin is a name to watch.
Yes, he is. Dwayne Lumpkin, high praise from his coach, high praise from his teammates. I got the opportunity to interview that Shaw Cardinals team at their scrimmage last week, and when I asked about high praises for certain players, everyone has brought up Dwayne Lumpkin, and he is already showing early off in this season why. Shaw back with the ball. Looks like Harris is having some problems with the formation out there.
7 on the play clock here, and
And
they're going
they're
to
going to
call
call a timeout. Looks like Shaw did not have the right personnel on the field. Coach Randy Knight already called the timeout. It kind of looks like the Shaw team is a little flustered right now. They're looking like they don't know what they got out there, and that's not a good sign if you're a Shaw Cardinals fan.
If you're Coach Knight right now, I don't know if this is exactly the nightmare scenario, but I can't imagine it's far. On your first play on offense of the whole year, you throw a deep ball straight to an interception. Your second offensive player of the year, you had a good defensive drive, but your second offensive play of the year, completely hoping to reset the schedule, reset it all, and then you can't get your personnel on the field. You almost take a delay a game. You have to burn a timeout. That's never something you want to see. Never, ever.
So if you're Coach Knight here, what do you say in this huddle right now to calm your troops down?
It's the first game of the season. We can take this. Just calm down. Keep your nerves low. We all know what we're doing here. We've drilled this for months. I know we can do this. Let's get out there.
And both teams are making their way back on the field. Shaw is lined up in a 2 running back set, 2 receivers to the left side of the field. Harris is directing his receivers. Harris with the snap, hands it off, up the middle, and he is stopped for just a 2-yard gain.
Now you see, that play I like. He handed it off to Jameer Jones. It's a small gain, but it's something. And after that first drive and the almost false start, you had to burn a timeout. It's good to get something small going. If you can build off of that, you can get something good.
Yes, I agree. I'm always a fan of running the ball early in the early downs because that can be better for later downs. But Shaw back in this 2 running back set with 2 receivers to the far left. The far right. Harris with that bad snap, and he falls down on it. Another bad play for the Shaw Cardinals right here.
And just as Randy Knight's team gets that little bit of confidence back, what happens? You completely muff the snap. That is not something you can do.
I think for both teams, a lot of nerves going into the game, first game of the season. I don't know if I'll necessarily be worried But if you keep seeing these things reoccurring later on in this game, then there's got to be something to worry about. But I think it's just a bunch of jitters they need to get out.
Now, I don't know about you, but if I'm Clearview right now, I'm not worried about a thing.
And there's 4 seconds left on the play clock. Another late play clock for Shaw. And Harris takes a snap with only 1 second on the play clock. Steps up in the pocket, dancing around the pocket, running to the outside, and he is just short of a first down. Xavier Harris getting shifty in the backfield and getting close to a first down, not getting there. Fourth and
And
3 on this play.
it was Xavier Ricks interacting with him again. He's the one that got the interception on him in the first play. He shoved him out here, and it looks like Shaw is staying out on offense.
Oh, this is a big time play for both teams right here on your own side of your field, going for it on 4th and 3. Harris gets the snap. He hands it off. And that is a first down. What a gritty move, a gritty call from Coach Knight right there.
And the extremely bold play for Shaw High School managed to work out. That one there was Eric Bolden, fittingly enough.
Eric Bolden, I spoke to him. He's a very high intelligent dude, and he don't look big, but he's strong. It looks like miscommunication going on with the refs in both teams. Don't know really how to explain how that scramble happened, but a bad first down for Shaw, nothing less to say.
The play was considered legal. It'll lose him a yard. I don't think Xavier Harris intended to snap it when he did.
Defense didn't even look like they thought the play was on either. That was a little confusing.
I think they might have thought there was a stoppage.
Shaw is back in the same 2 running back and 2 receivers to the far right. The snap is made, handed off to Bolden. Bolden is taken down for a 3-yard gain. And they are going to be looking to feed Eric Bolden this game. I talked to Coach Knight. He told me he's looking for Eric Bolden to guide this team to a playoff run. So we see that early in the game that Eric Bolden is getting the ball a lot, and he is getting some valuable yards. They might not be a lot, but they're valuable early in the downs.
Well, given how things have been going so far, I would be relying on Bolden as well. He has been probably the most successful offensive player thus far for Shaw.
And Shaw Cardinals change the formation here. And Harris with the snap. Harris fires to the sideline and pick up. Oh no, he dropped it. Harris almost threw his second interception of the game, but that pass is incomplete. That pass is incomplete, and that is why there are receivers and defensive backs. He needs to hang out with his receivers because, man, that could have been intercepted and taken a long way, honestly. There was nothing but green ahead of him.
Well, it was almost a second disaster for Shaw. It would have been their second straight drive that ends in a turnover. Instead, it looks like they will punt. Wisely, I may add.
Josiah Sanders is the punter for the Shaw Cardinals. And there's a flag, and I think that's a legal formation or delay of game. Shaw is having troubles with the play clock, and
so the referees declare a delay of game on Shaw. They came close twice.
Shaw's having a lot of formation issues and play clock issues this game. That stuff has to get tightened up only in practice.
To say the least.
Low snap on the punt, but the punt is off cleanly. And this is received in a big hit. He's still on his feet. No, he is not. Shaw smashes him in the back.
That was number 6, Braden Turner. He's listed as a quarterback and wide receiver on the depth chart. Didn't seem to have much room to maneuver there.
Clearview on their first drive had a 3 and out. They're looking to improve on that first drive right there. They was able to get inside Shaw's territory, but on a 3rd and 1 was not able to convert that. Let's see what Clearview got to this drive. Clearview 2 back. Ball snapped, handed off to the running back again, and he gets a gritty 3-yard run. He was stopped initially at the line of scrimmage, but he kept going and kept fighting and got 3 extra yards.
That was Christian Stevenson, the little guy, 5'9", 200, as I mentioned earlier. The fun thing about this Clearview offense is that both Christian Stevenson and starting quarterback Joe Stevens are both listed as quarterbacks. So technically, either one of them can play the position. I will be looking for them to try some tricky stuff.
Indeed. Single back set, the ball snaps, Stevens throws it, and it is incomplete again. The Clearview Clippers are looking to get to that receiver screen. They just are not able to get it right there. They keep going back to our receiver screen. They must see something that they like in that screenplay, but again, Shaw shuts that down.
Well, when they tried it last drive with a man out of the backfield, it got tackled immediately. Now this drive, it's incomplete. They tried for Braden Turner there. We'll see what Stevens has here on 3rd and 6.
Stevens, and he made them jump. That was a good hard count by Stevens.
Yep, it's being motioned
And
on Shaw.
that is correct.
Encroachment penalty against the Cardinals. 5-yard penalty will make it third down and fourth and long.
And this right here helps out the Clippers. Instead of a third and long, this is a third and short. Another third and short. We're gonna see if the Clippers can convert on this third and short.
And if I'm head coach Randy Knight right now, I'm just sick. The best aspect of Shaw on the last defense on the last drives was defense, and now you give up an encroachment penalty to make it 3rd and 1, and that's never something you want to do.
Stevens with the snap, hands it off to Stevens. He has the lane up the middle, and he is brought down, but not after the first down. Clearview is moving the ball.
Stevenson looks like he got about 4 more than he needed here. That's good news for Clearview. They're now at about the 46, and I gotta say, I think they're pretty happy with what they see.
Yes, they are. Especially the way Christian Stevens is running that rock. You can get that dude the ball 50 times this game, and I bet he wouldn't mind if they get the dub doing that.
Shaw showing
Stevens
blitz.
hands it off. And it's a read option. He takes off and he gets taken down. And they get back into Shaw territory. And that would be a 6-yard gain. 2nd and 6.
And you see, that is exactly the thing I talk about. They've established Stevenson all day. They've handed him the ball at least 4 times, tried to pass it to him once. That one didn't quite work out, but even still, it got the idea in Shaw's head. And then you play the read option, gets you a clean 5 yards. That's exactly what you want to draw up if you're a coach.
Yes, that was perfect. Shaw looking up to load the box here. Stevens, and he got them with a hard count again. This Shaw team is not looking that disciplined right now, and they need to get things together, or things are just gonna get worse. Because when stuff like that happens, arguments start happening. You start getting that self doubt and stuff. You want to get all that stuff taken away, and it starts with the little things. And the little things is paying attention. So let's see if Shaw can just handle the little things first.
And that encroachment penalty will give Clearview an automatic first down at the 44. And that's a 2nd encroachment penalty on Shaw. Randy Knight has got to be sick to his stomach.
Shaw with 7 in the box. They're loading this box up. They do not like the way Christian Stevens is running this ball. Steven hands it off. He dropped it. He fumbled. And I think he recovered it himself. But it was a miscommunication from what Stevens to Stevens. They did not have that snap corralled and held together. Stevens with a miscommunication.
And that marks the first true mistake from Clearview here. Stevens tried the handoff to Stevenson, and he just lost it. Thankfully, Stevenson was managed to get it back, and you got to believe that Cody Kaya is rubbing the sweat off his forehead right now.
Yes, that looked really bad. Shaw could have had the ball and been close to the Clippers' side. Stevens with a snap. It's an option to the outside of the field, and he is only going to get 2 on that play. Shaw is looking to lock in on that run game. They have been getting dashed so far, but they're like, no, we're going to load this box up, and they exactly what they have done. The last couple of plays is having 7 people in the box, and they're loading up on that rushing attack.
I mean, I mentioned about 2 plays ago, if I'm Randy Knight, I'm furious. I'm sick to my stomach, and that was after 2 encroachment penalties. Now, I'd be feeling a bit better.
This right here is going to be a third and long, 3rd and 13 for the Clearview Clippers. Let's see what the Clearview got. Trips to the left side of the field. Single back formation. Stevens rolls out to the right. He finds a receiver, but that is dropped. Clearview with a lot of drop catches today. You have seen a couple receivers, even a running back, drop a lot of passes today. I'm not saying they would have did anything. I don't think he would have got the first down anyways, but that is not signs you would like to see is your receivers dropping stuff early.
And speaking of running backs, that was number 11, Keegan Vanks, listed as a running back on the roster. And it's one thing to catch it and only gain 1 or 2. It's another entirely to drop a pass that easy. You gotta hurt. You gotta hurt
I
for him.
think that he was looking downfield before locking it in. And as a receiver and a receiving coach, your coach is probably always going to tell you lock the ball in for running. And this snap is kicked up high in the air. It's a short one, but it's a good bounce. And he stopped the bounce for some odd reason. And Shaw will be on their 21-yard line. If he would have let that bounce, that ball could have bounced potentially to the 10-yard line possibly.
I'm not so sure about 10-yard line, but I could have seen 15, 17 would have been a bit nicer. But even still, pin inside the 25 is pretty nice.
Yes, that's pretty good punt for where they were at on the field.
Yeah,
to say the least. Shaw looking a little slow coming on the field right here.
Yeah. Play clock isn't running yet, so they don't have to worry about that.
That is correct, but their defense, Clearview's defense is already out on the field. The rest is blowing the whistles for the game clock to come on and for Shaw to come onto the field.
Play clock has now begun. Shaw is only now starting to come out on the field. We're 4 drives down, no scores for anyone, only 3 first downs, 1 for Shaw, 2 for Clearview.
And 1 turnover.
Of course, the opening interception.
And almost 2 turnovers. Clearview had a couple miscommunications on their drive. To say the least, Shaw back with the ball. The ball snap is going to be wide receiver jet sweep, and he is going to only get 2 yards on that game. Dejon Black.
Yeah, the number 4 wide receiver. He was the one who couldn't quite get his hands on the opening return. But overall, it's not a bad play, a 3-yard gain. I'd call that worth it.
Yes, indeed. And Shaw back with this 2-back set with 2 receivers to the right of the field. Harris with a snap, hands it off, and he is taken down immediately at the line of scrimmage.
That was number 10, Carl Reese Jr. Now, if I'm Randy Knight right now, I'm a bit tentative about passing, but it's really the only thing you can do right now. You're 3rd and 7, you're on your own 24, you've already punted twice. You don't have much of an option.
And look like they're going to have an empty backfield right here, having all 5 receivers out there. So it looks like this will be a passing formation. Harris, quick throw. And, that's a first down. Dejon Black with the speed. Wow, it looked like he had no yards there. It looked like he was going to get stopped for 2 yards. With the speed of Dejon Black, that is great. That is insane speed right there. To cut that edge and get the first down, what a clutch run.
I have to say, that is a highly impressive play. You play the screen on 3rd and 7, you better hope for something big. And they got exactly that. Oh, wait, there's a flag.
A flag on the field. And it is on Shaw, unfortunately.
Oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear. You get
I've not seen no official call.
You get such a good play like that. It's your best offensive play of the day. Gets called back for holding. You cannot stand that.
Yeah, that's not what you want to see if you're the Shaw coaching staff. Harris with the snap. Harris is just, he fakes the handoff, and he's running, and he has Harris with a juke move, and Harris just runs out of room, and he is going to be well short of that first down. That's all you really could do on a play. You really don't want to push that ball super far downfield.
Well, we will see where the referee spotted. It could be short.
We'll be short. This will be a 4th and 4, and
4th and 2 they call it.
And they're keeping their offense on the field. Shaw is playing very gutsy football on their own side of the field. They're trusting their team. Coach Randy, Oh, and the Shaw called the second timeout of the game in the first quarter. Two timeouts in the first quarter, and
The play clock wasn't even low. They just took that one for planning.
yeah, maybe because they just didn't. Maybe he wants to send his punting crew out there and don't want to rush them on the field. I don't know if that's a really a decision because your defense is playing good. You don't necessarily want to give Clearview easy 3 or 6 points right there. So I would think it would be smart just to plan the way, especially with the way your defense is playing. They're not playing outstanding defense the way the Clearview defense is, but they're playing just good enough to hold this team back from scoring or putting any points on the board. So we're gonna see what the Shaw Cardinals and Coach Knight has cooking up.
Well, I was going to say before the timeout was called, the last time that Shaw went out on fourth down, went for it, they did manage to get it. However, the next time they went out on fourth down, they also got a false start, and that sent them back, and they had to punt. So you really have to juggle both balls here. You have to wonder, do you try to get your offense hot, or do you make the safe maneuver? Because you know your defense has been good enough so far. Do you bet on them, or do you bet on your offense heating up?
I'm a guy where I'll preferably bend on my defense. I'll let my defense break me before my offense. You have a long game in front of you. Your offense has a full game to get better and a full game to hash out the bad things that are going on. So we're going to see what they're doing. And it looks like they got their punting team out there. Coach Knight is not looking like he wants to take the risk right there.
I gotta say, I agree with this. 4th and 3 on your own 28. I wouldn't take that either.
Yeah, I agree. You have a whole game to play. What's ahead of you? But Sanders is back to take the punt for Shaw. Another low snap for the punt, but he does get off cleanly. And this punt is backtracking and it stops dead at the 45-yard line on Clearview's 45. Clearview coming in on their third possession of the game. Let's see what Clearview can do. Both the first two possessions of the game, Clearview managed to get past their 50-yard line and get in Shaw's territory. But after they get past the 50, they get dead stop. They come to a straight dead end, and Shaw starts blocking in. So let's see if Clearview can break through that little hole because they're moving the ball. They're just not able to break through and score yet.
Well, if you ask me, that's the risk of having a plan. Once your opponent figures out your plan, you're kind of out of a plan because then it won't work. But if you're getting past midfield, if you're consistently moving the ball, if you've got a first down on both of your first two drives, I think you've got some hope.
Stevens takes a snap, another receiver screen, number 6 for Clearview, and he is gonna get the first down. He was getting dragged back from the 50, but he just kept going with the determination, and it looks like he got the first down. No, excuse me, he is a yard short, but what a gritty run.
That was number 6, Braden Turner. Believe it or not, he's also listed as a quarterback on the roster.
A lot of quarterbacks for this Clearview team. They're
And
looking
all
like
of them
Matt, like you said earlier in the broadcast, they might have some tricks up their sleeve.
and all of them seem to be succeeding. Stevenson, Stevens, and now Turner all have managed a great play so far.
Clearview got two receivers on both sides of the field with a single back formation. Stevens takes a snap with a motion, and it was handed off to the receiver. The receiver caught the snap, but Shaw was all over it. And Shaw takes him down in the backfield. And I don't know if that was intentional or not. You pointed that out in the pregame while watching these teams. You pointed that out to me and said a play like that happened. And now I'm starting to think that was on purpose.
Well, if it was on purpose, it certainly didn't work out. They had Turner running in front of the quarterback. As he took the snap, he managed to steal it away, but he got caught right on the edge, and he just had no room from there. That's never something you want to see. And now it's 3rd and 2.
The Shaw defensive line is a point that you can a bright spot you can bring up for this Shaw team is this defensive line. They're loading the box again. Stevens looks to get him jumping, hands it off to Stevenson, and Stevenson is corralled, and a flag is thrown in. Looks like in the area of a offensive holding. Waiting to see what the official call on the field is. And this looks like it's going to be another penalty on the Shaw Cardinals. And this is
Oh
just
my
killing the Shaw
goodness.
Cardinals. 0 penalties for the Clearview Clippers, 4 on the Shaw Cardinals so far.
Well, Hand him another automatic first down. Hand him another drive inside the enemy 45.
When you're doing something
Oof.
good, you don't want to mess up on the little things. Little things, little things, little things. Shaw will be perfectly fine. They just need to clean up on the little things. The little things are hurting them. But nonetheless, the Clearview Clippers back in a single back formation, hands it off to Stevenson, and Stevenson is brought down, but he hurdles it for 2 yards.
About tried to jump over the line there. I like that idea on 3rd and 2. I'm not sure how much I like it on 1st and 10, but now we are out of the first quarter. We are on possession number 6, I believe, and Shaw is on penalty number 4. So, overall, a pretty standard game thus far. We'll see what quarter 2 brings us. Always be going somewhere, right? If you're going to start a sentence, make sure you finish it either in a way that will lead back into the play or lead into something I will say, right? Other than that, you're doing great.
As we start the second quarter, second down and 8 for Clearview in the Shaw.
Back from Tom Hoke Stadium, the Clearview Clippers are marching into Shaw territory. Joe Stevens, the quarterback for the Clippers, and it is going to be a false start, number 56. The first penalty of the Clearview Clippers of this game, and they was playing flawless up until that point. Besides the mishaps with the handoff.
I believe that was number 58, Avery Hartley. First time we've heard his name today. And that marks the first penalty on Clearview today. Shaw has already had 4 of them, most of them on defense. But it's good to see that battle starting to even out even the slightest bit.
Indeed. Stevens with the snap. Stevens fake snap. And oh, the ball is out. Stevens catches the ball. And that play is back behind their 50. They're back in their own territory. And that is not what you want to see from the Clearview Clippers perspective right there. But for the Shaw Cardinals, this defensive line looking really good. But we have an injured player out here for the Shaw Cardinals. I cannot see what Pacific player that is, but that is not something you want to see, especially with the mishaps going on.
It appears to be a leg injury. That's never something you want to see. We have trainers coming out on the field fast as they like. But going back to that play from Clearview, that is about as much of a circus play as you can possibly get because Stevens has to roll out right. He's got 2 guys right in front of him. He fakes the throw, manages to stiff arm one of them, and then he throws the ball up in the air. He's lost it. It comes right back down to him, and he gets tackled for a loss of 7.
Yeah, it
And
was.
I mean, that's never something you want to see, but it's good television.
Yeah, most definitely. But one thing that I think was messed up, really Clearview messed up at, was they ran a play action to the short side of the field, so it gave the quarterback less room to make a play. And I think that he just got nervous because he saw a lot of Cardinals in his face. There was a lot of white jerseys right there. And when you see a lot of white jerseys right there, you want to throw it away, find a receiver. And I think the ball just slipped out of his hands, unfortunately. But fortunate enough for him, he got that ball back because if Shaw would have got that, Shaw would have been in their territory for the first time in this game.
And that was Jalen Taylor, who was walking off the field, the man who was injured. He appears to be limping slightly. We'll hope that he's all right. He was an offensive lineman and defensive lineman here. I believe he was involved in that last tackle.
It's good to see him up and walking. Hopefully he can get back to this game. You never like to see no injuries or nothing like that.
Agreed.
Clippers with 3 receivers set to the left side of the field. Stevens takes the snap, steps back in the pocket. Stevens dumps it off as a receiver screen. That is dropped by the running back. Excuse me, that was a running back screen. And Stevenson could not corral that. He's looking for a face mask penalty, but there would not be one called there. This is going to be 4th and 19. This ball is getting punted back to Shaw. We got a defensive matchup in our hands.
And I mean, for Clearview, that's disappointing, but I mean, what can you do? You're on 2nd and 8, you get a false start, then you lose another 6, then you miss the pass, 4th and 19. It's a bad drive, but sometimes those just happen.
Indeed. Dejon Black is deep to receive this punt. This punt is almost blocked. Dejon Black, the first time getting a return this game. Black, and he is brought down. He's still going. Dejon Black is still up, and he is finally taken down. There's a flag on the field. It was looking good until it was not. The Clearview Clippers bring him back farther than where he even received a punt at. But there is a flag on the field, and we are waiting to see what that penalty is.
And that was just a very interesting return, start to finish. You think Dejon Black is down at about the 30, it looked like, but he stays up. But unfortunately, I don't think it did him much good because he ran himself back to the 24, then got taken down. That's never something you want to see.
Sometimes in situations like that, you just got to get down. You break a couple tackles, you see some more Clearview Clippers in your face. I know it's high school under the lights, and you want to make a big play for your team, but sometimes doing extra can result in that, and that is not what you wanted. Only particularly because you took unnecessary hits too, but that is a sport they're playing. So, and that is a penalty on Shaw. So even if Dejon Black would have did something with that play, it would have been for nothing at all.
Yeah.
Shaw is backed up deep on their own side of the field.
I believe it was a blindside foul. That is a spot foul. So even if he went down at the 30, it would not have mattered. So Shaw is now back on about their own 10-yard line, which is devastating.
All game long, Shaw has started deep in their own territory, and that is not something good.
But they have never been as deep as this.
Harris takes the snap, hands it off. The running back for Shaw. He has an outside lane. He still is running, and he is tackled. The biggest play of the game for the Shaw Cardinals.
And would you believe it, it's Big Dwayne Lumpkin once again running them all the way down inside the 35. That is a beautiful play.
I think we're going to get used to saying his name a lot this year. Dwayne Lumpkin is doing it offensively and defensively.
I mean, you just can't ask for something better in that situation with that kind of play. And it looks like we have a penalty again. Goodness, I hope I'm wrong, but even still, it looks
I think the ref
quite
was
like
telling a player to put his mouthpiece in. I don't think number 4 did not have his mouthpiece in, and that is Dejon Black.
Oof, that's got to hurt for him.
Two-back formation, Harris with the snap, hands it off, and he is going nowhere. Stopped for a 1-yard loss. Eric Bolden stopped in the backfield. Clearview Clippers with another stop right there.
That appeared to be Jameer Hagler on the tackle there. He's listed as a linebacker, defensive back, and wide receiver. He's a pretty big guy, 6'1", but only 170 pounds.
Shaw in this two-back formation. Harris corrals the snap, hands it off to Lumpkin. Lumpkin breaks a tackle. Lumpkin is still running, and Lumpkin, what a 4-yard gain. A good 4-yard gain at that. He looked like he was getting stopped in the backfield, but Lumpkin has been running hard, hitting hard, and just been playing hard all around. And Dwayne Lumpkin with a good 4-yard gain for the Cardinals right there.
It appears the referees are going to be generous, give him 7 for that one, and Lumpkin just keeps it rolling.
Snap is made. Shaw hands it off again, and looks like there's no room in the backfield, and he still manages to get 3.5 yards, it looks like, on that game. And this is going to be a 4th and 1 for the Shaw Cardinals.
That one did,
and they're going to give the Cardinals the first down.
That one appeared to be Eric Bolden rather than Lumpkin. A bit of a switch up there on the offense. And I got to say, I like it. You get a guy going, and you run with the other. It's classic strategy.
Coach Knight was telling me how confident he is with these running backs, and that he feels like he can run with 2 running backs. So, yeah. Harris with a snap. It looks like it's going to be a jet sweep. It is a jet sweep. Dejon Black is on the outside. Dejon Black has the angle. Dejon Black is going to get a first down. That speed of Dejon Black we was talking about, he cut that edge so fast. And Clearview had a couple players right there that could have got him, but the speed of Dejon Black was able to get the corner. You know the saying, speed kills, and Dejon Black has the speed.
And I got to say, you got Bolden looking good on that one first down. You got that 20-yard run from Lumpkin. And now you got Dejon Black doing that. I think this offense is finally finding its rhythm.
Harris takes the snap. It's another handoff. And there's going to be another penalty in the backfield. And it looks like it's going to be a holding on the Shaw Cardinals again.
Oh, goodness.
Wow, just one thing starting to look good for the Cardinals. Another holding 10-yard penalty that's going to set them back. This is not what you want to see if you're a Shaw football fan right now. Just one thing starting to look bright, and they look like they find their identity. Things is not looking good anymore.
And, you know, I just spent the last little bit gushing about how good Shaw looks, and what happens? They go and pull a holding penalty on what would have been a 4-yard run.
And this makes it really tricky for Shaw because they're looking like they're having a lot of success in the run game and running to the outside. They're not looking that successful when it comes to throwing the ball. So this is not good in a 1st and 20 situation right here. But nonetheless, Harris takes a snap, and he looks to throw, steps up in the pocket. He throws it deep. He has a man, no hands, almost intercepted again. Wow. Another dropped interception for the Clearview Clippers. That one right there could have been another interception for Harris. It looked like Harris had a player locked in on mind before the snap. He was looking at him the whole entire time, and then he fired it to him, but the pass was way too short for his receiver. And fortunate for the Shaw Cardinals, that was not caught.
They should be very thankful that Kudo Grant did not bring that down.
Cardinals in single back formation, 2 receivers to the right side of the field. Harris takes the snap, steps up in the pocket, throws the middle of the field, and it is caught for an 11-yard gain.
And that
Harris with the catch in the middle of the field.
That is something, if I'm Shaw, I'm happy to see. We've seen the run game succeeding, but we needed to see what the pass game had. And there you see it right there. A brilliant pass over the middle. Just can't ask for something better.
It looks like Harris is more comfortable throwing the ball in the middle of the field rather to deep field. But Harris takes the snap, steps up in the pocket, and he throws it. But it looks like his receiver was on miscommunication with him. He had a man. It just looked like the running back and the quarterback was not on the same page. Another holding penalty. Wow. At this point, this is frankly just getting outrageous at this point.
I mean, 3rd and 9. They missed incompletion. I don't know if I would take that. But the opportunity to put them on 3rd and 19.
We're going to take it.
But speaking about that pass, I didn't like the look of that from the moment he threw it. Running back wasn't looking at him. Gets there, it's at his knees. That is never the right pass.
No, you're correct about that. And Shaw looks like they get another chance at this 3rd down right here. A 3rd and long. Let's see what he got. And it's going to be a play action. He steps up in the pocket. He throws it to the deep side of the field. He has a man. It is! Tipped and intercepted! Clearview Clippers intercept the pass! On the kick! And he's still running! And he is stripped down in the Shaw territory! What a play! What's he do? How do you do?
And what?
Cardinals crowd is elated after a tipped interception.
And would you believe it? It is number 12, Xavier Garcia, once again picking off Xavier Harris of the Shaw Cardinals. And my goodness, what a play that was.
It seemed like Harris had a man. He's just not able to get the ball deep enough. Dejon Black could have almost made up for it, but that ball got ripped away. Good defense from the cornerback of the Clippers. And there's another penalty. Wow.
I believe the indication was a blindside block on the Clearview Clippers. That might set them back a few yards.
And it is on the Clearview Clippers. You are indeed right. There has been a lot of penalties, not from both sides of the field. Not what you want to see from either coaching staff, honestly.
Well, now I believe we have about 7 combined penalties on the game. And I believe that about 5 of them have gone towards Shaw.
Both defenses are showing out right now.
That is true.
The defensive backs for the Clippers are looking outstanding. They're not allowing nothing deep. They let one pass up the middle, but besides that, their cornerbacks are locking in on their receivers right now.
And so that penalty will set the Clippers back to the 44-yard line. But even still, that is something you love to see.
Yes, but now but this penalty kind of hurts Clearview because now instead of being in Shaw's territory, you're back in your own territory. So we're going to see how they approach this drive. Clearview on their own 44-yard line, and the whistle is blown, and waiting to see what the refs are saying. Looks like there's a chain issue going on. Shaw looking to take advantage of that mishap on the chain and substitute some players in.
I would as well if I were them.
Stevens takes a snap, rolls out. Stevens has a man, it's caught. And he's down into Shaw's territory.
That is number 19, Fabian Molina. First time we've called his name tonight. And that'll be a first down. And guess what? They're already right back in Shaw territory.
Indeed they are. And Clearview's looking to open up that passing game. We have not really seen neither team open up the passing game just yet. But Clearview looking to get to that point.
And, you know, Clearview has just been crossing midfield faster and faster and faster with each drive.
Single back formation with Steven and Stevenson in the backfield. 3 receiver set to the left side of the field. The snap is made. He pump fakes the ball. He throws it deep. He has a man. The receiver stopped running. For some reason, I don't know. They must have been a miscommunication. But the pass was a little overthrown. But from my view, it looked like the receiver for the Clippers just did not run his fastest. And he perhaps could have made that play if he never stopped in the middle right there. I don't know what he was thinking right there.
Well, if you ask me, it's a little bit of both, but they should be very glad that Josiah Sanders was not there to go pick that off. He was in the neighborhood, but just a bit too far.
Indeed, indeed. Clearview throwing the ball a lot more, has not ran the ball in this possession yet. Let's see if they go to that run game with this 2-back formation right here. The stop is made, and they do go back to the run game with Stevenson, but Stevenson gets nothing. This Shaw defensive line is greedy, and they're not allowing the Clearview Clippers get nothing right there.
Well, Christian Stevenson, he made a good effort there, saw that the right side was blocked, tried to cut inside, but he just didn't have enough room.
Yeah, in play like that, there's nothing you really can do besides just get a couple of 1 to 2 yards. But nonetheless, this is going to be a 3rd and long for this Clearview Clippers offense, and we're going to see if Shaw can get another stop right here.
Staring
a big
down
play for
3rd and
both
9.
teams when we're closing in on the first half. Stevens takes the snap, drops back in the pocket, fires to the sideline, and it is caught!
Oh my goodness!
And he does get a foot in! Wow, what a catch from the Clearview Clippers! One-on-one coverage, and Stevens finds his man.
Guess who? Fabian Molina, the man from the first reception of this drive, and he manages to bring Clearview all the way down within the 20. Hey, that's something.
That right there, he put that ball where only his receiver can get it. He went up and got that. I don't know if the Shaw defender lost track of that ball or something, but that is a mistake on the cornerback's behalf right there. Single back formation. Stevens takes the snap, hands it off to Stevenson. Stevenson is going to fight and only get 2 yards on the gain. Stevenson looking for another penalty.
Was brought down.
Not get one.
Was brought down by linebacker Jameer Jones right there. Shaw going to make a quick substitute. Well,
Clearview, with their first time being inside of the red zone this game, we're going to see if they can convert on this red zone opportunity right here.
I mean, you have to think that they're in prime position to score.
Oh, yes. You can get a shot play right here. You can honestly just hand the ball off to your running back, Stevenson. He has had a phenomenal game right now. It looks like Shaw does not have a cornerback on the far left receiver. Never mind, they do have one running out, and the whistles are blown.
And
it's
it will
going to be a timeout for
Shaw.
Shaw with the final timeout of the half with 5:57 remaining. So they would not have no timeouts when they get the ball back.
I have to say, I don't like spending the third timeout with about 6 minutes to go, but I do like the situation they used it in. You got 2 guys outright. You only got 1 cornerback between them. That is a death sentence of a play if the quarterback has any level of accuracy. And based off what we've seen from Stevens, he has plenty of accuracy.
Indeed, indeed. You see, we both noticed that over there, and I can only imagine what Joe Stevens was thinking in his head. He was licking his chops like, are you really going to just go out there with one defensive back? But good thing on Coach Randy Knight, seeing that miscommunication going on with his defense and calling a timeout though.
I can't imagine he's happy though.
Yeah, you're not happy, but you don't want to give up points here. Your defense is playing so good. The only big play besides that was the the pass from Stevens to get inside the red zone. But besides that, this defense has been very greedy with yards.
It's a smart move, it's the right move, and it's never the move you want to have to make.
Yeah, some moves you have to make, but you don't want to make. And it looks like they're going to be leaving a slot receiver open too on this play. And then he clearly throws it to the slot receiver. Like I said, and that is a touchdown for the Clearview Clippers. He called timeout for that exact reason, and then go back out there and do the same exact thing. Like I was telling you, I told you Joe Stevens was licking his chops the play before the timeout, and they went right back to the same formation. Joe Stevens said, "You're not going to guard my slot receiver. Well, so be it. I'm going to throw it right to him," and he gets in and scores the first.
What's more, Braden Turner, you saw on the play, he turns to look at Stevens. He knows it's coming. He runs a short hitch, grabs it, gets away from the defenders, and it's a free score for the Clippers.
Yes, definitely free. I see them communicating the slot receiver and the quarterback like, "Hey, no one's guarding me," but nonetheless, the Clippers is lining up for a field goal, a PAT right here. Clean snap, clean hold, and that kick is no good. Far left.
It was 29, Jeremiah Martinez on the attempt.
He looked a little hesitant. He didn't look really that confident in that kick right there. But if you're the coach, you got to put some confidence in your kicker. It was a good snap, a good hold. Well, not really the perfect snap, but the hold was there. You just got to focus on that ball and knock it in. So not too bad for the Shaw Cardinals. Only down 6 points. They have a chance, though, right here to put some points on the board before the half. That would be very important for this Shaw offense.
That it would be.
The kicker for the Clearview Clippers looks like he is distraught right now, but nonetheless, he will be might be back out there to.
Well, I imagine he'll be back out there for the kickoff.
Yeah, no, I was just about to say, I imagine he might be back out there another time to rehash out that mistake.
Right.
So we're gonna see how this game plays out.
Well, Shaw's first return didn't go so well. We'll see if they can get it better this time around. Martinez prepared for his third total kick of the night. He had the first kickoff that missed PAT just now, and now here comes kickoff number 2.
Looks like Shaw has a lot of people at the very front line of this kickoff. Maybe just preparing for maybe an onside kick.
Well, you got to be ready for everything.
Martinez kicks the ball off, and the Cardinals, and he touched it. Dejon Black with a return. Dejon Black cuts to the outside. Dejon Black looks like he has some room. Dejon Black, and Dejon Black is finally taken down at the 45-yard line. Shaw Cardinals are looking to get back in this game with 5 minutes to go in this first half.
You spotted him trying to direct Ryan Nathan, number 55, on that return. Couldn't quite get him where he wanted, but even still, a return up to the 35, that's a good return.
Indeed, that was definitely a good return to start this, especially when you've seen earlier in the game, all the Shaw offensive possessions have started really far back in their own side of the field. And, you know, this ball is close to midfield. Now you might have some confidence.
I'll bet you they're going to be happy about that.
Indeed. Single back formation for the Cardinals right here. 2 receivers to the far right. Harris takes a snap, hands it off, and he runs to the outside. He is going to get stopped after a 3-yard gain. Eric Bolden, after another run from him, gets a nifty 3-yard gain right here. 2nd and 7 coming up.
Well, it looks like the running game is still working out fairly well for Shaw. Good run from Bolden. We'll see what they have now.
Harris with the snap, hands it off, and he is taken down. This is some good running right here early on in the downs.
Ran into his own center there, big 77, Jamari Goodgame. Yes, that is his name.
Yeah, I spoke to Jamari Goodgame. He's a highly intelligent player. He is known as the best lineman on the team. High praise from a lot of his players. But nonetheless, Shaw back in his single back formation. Harris takes a snap, fakes the handoff. He's throwing down to the sideline, and this pass is
Broken up.
incomplete. Another great defensive play from the Clearview Clippers. That ball was hanging in the air, and that ball was hanging, and it was almost picked off again.
And believe it or not, it was almost a third steal from Xavier Garcia, number 12. But thankfully, Josiah Sanders, number 0, he managed to break it up as they hit the ground. Otherwise, would have been just devastating for Shaw.
It looks like Shaw wants to go downfield, and on some of the plays, I will be honest, Shaw receivers do have a step on the Clearview defenders, but the quarterback, Harris, just seems to have the ball locked in the air too long. He needs to throw some of these balls in a string. Two-back formation, Harris gets a snap. The ball is handed off, and it was running to the side of the lane, and he's still running, breaking tackles. He's still going, running down the field. Shaw is in the red zone. Dwayne Lumpkin.
And who else would it be running them down inside the 10? Only barely knocked to the sideline, I should say, by Xavier Garcia.
Dwayne Lumpkin is carrying his team offensively and defensively. That is something you want to see. This dude is being electric already and looking to score this football. Shaw, their first red zone appearance of the game. Let's see how this goes. Two-back formation. Ball is handed off to Lumpkin, and he is brought down. Eric Bolden on the play.
And if I can just go back to that long run from Lumpkin. I mean, he just had the exact right reads the whole way down. Just couldn't quite beat Garcia on the way out. But even still, a fantastic play.
Harris with a snap. The ball is handed off, and it is in. It looks like he's in. No, the red signal. Down on the run. From my view, I thought he raced it in, but no, he did not. Eric Bolden on the run.
Well, Bolden definitely tried to reach, but it looks like the referees are saying his knee was down before that ball could cross the plane.
Shaw on the 1-yard line. 3rd and goal. The ball is snapped quickly, handed off, and it is a touchdown for the Shaw Cardinals. Eric Bolden puts it in the end zone, and this game is tied up. The Shaw Cardinals scores right back.
And, I mean, if you're Randy Knight, you got to be happy. Your defense couldn't stop the Clippers last time. They managed to get the score, and what do? You drive back down and you score one of your own. That is what you love to see.
And definitely, they have actually the chance to take the lead going into the half, but there is an injured Cardinal on the field.
Oh,
We're going to take a look to see who that is. That looks like that is number 2.
That would be Zion Harris.
Starting receiver. That is not what you're not looking good for the Cardinals, and he's grabbing his hamstring area. That is not what you want to see if you're a football fan of the Shaw Cardinals.
Well, now as we take a moment, as we allow Zion Harris to hopefully recover himself. 3 minutes, 37 seconds left in this half here. Tied 6-6. Cardinals about to try for the extra point to take the lead here. What do you do if you're Cody Kaya? Because if I'm Cody Kaya, I'm blitzing Xavier Harris as hard as I can. Because from what we have seen, Xavier Harris, respect to him, hasn't been the best at delivering when it comes to passing. And plus, if you blitz, it automatically helps against the run because you have more guys.
So basically taking a page out of Coach Knight's book, how Coach Knight started loading the box, you would like to see the Clearview Clippers start loading the box.
But what I would be worried about here is that we've seen Xavier Harris make some short passes. So I'm thinking if he does blitz and Harris does pass, it might not work out for him.
Harris will have to identify the blitzer and throw to where the blitzer is coming from. Can Xavier Harris identify the blitzer on that play? But looks like Shaw said, no, we are not kicking the PAT. We're going for 2. Harris, single back formation. Harris step back in the pocket. Harris delivers, and that looks like that's a pass interference, but they're not going to call it. The defender is all over the Cardinals receiver right there. And this game is going to stay tied 6-6 with 3:37 left on the game clock.
And that is Fabian Molina once again, made that big reception on the other end. Now he manages to stop the extra point for the Shaw Cardinals. And you know what they say about pass interference. If you're playing the ball, it's not pass interference. But I have to admit it looked kind of touchy.
More than a little touchy. It looked like he was a little early, but some calls could be ticky tacky. But from my point of view, it looked like he was all over him before the ball got there. But nonetheless, that doesn't matter because it was not called. This game is a tie ball game, and the Clearview Clippers got 3:37 on the clock to go in and try to score a touchdown or get a field goal before the half. How big would that be? Putting some points on the board before the half and taking the lead.
I think that would be huge. If you can drive down the field right now in under 4 minutes in what took you about 6 drives to achieve in one, I'd be pretty happy if I was Cody Kaya. Now, of course, you have to remember, this Shaw defense is nothing to sneeze at. For 5 drives, they had this Clearview team locked down. They could not pass the 45. We'll see what Shaw has this time around.
Shaw is lining up to kick this off. One thing I noticed about Clearview when they're returning compared to Shaw, Clearview doesn't have their players all pushed back. Oh, it's going to be
whoa!
And Clearview is going to corral it. Shaw came out of nowhere, interrupted me in the middle of my talking, and they was going gutsy right there. A little too far of a kick. I've seen that work actually before, but he kicked it a little too far. If all he wanted to go was a little, like 5 yards, but nonetheless, it's still not past your 50.
That was an extraordinarily bold act by the Shaw Cardinals trying to get the ball back as fast as they could. You saw what happened. One man sprints out of the huddle, the rest of the guys fall behind him. I don't think Clearview were ready, but they managed to corral it.
When I talked to Coach Knight, he was telling me about how he wants his team to be gritty, and he told me, quote unquote, Shaw football is back, and he's looking like he is playing really aggressive football.
I mean, he's gone for it on 4th down about twice now. One of them got called back by a penalty, and after that, I have to say, aggression seems to be his brand.
Stevens takes a snap. Steven rolls out to the right side of the field. Steven thrown it is caught for a 6-yard gain. Clearview Clippers like rolling out to the right side of the field. That might be his strong side, and they like throwing the flood concept. It seems to appear.
That there was Fabian Molina once again, and it looks like Clearview is going to move a little quicker now.
The clock is running, and it's going to be coming under 3 minutes to go in this game. The ball snapped. Stevens throws it, and that pass is caught, but it's out of bounds, but it will be a pass interference. Number 16 for the Shaw Cardinals was all over him, and it was a penalty from far away. That was a clear penalty, but the pass would have been out of bounds if he would have caught it anyways.
Well, we will see what the ref has to say first. Pass interference on defense is the call, so that will be a free 1st down for Clearview. Put him down inside Shaw's 45 now. Appears the referee made a slight mistake there, tried to walk back the Clearview Clippers. Must have thought it was OPI. But either way,
and this penalty puts the Clearview Clippers back in the Shaw territory right here. And Shaw is going back to the little things that was not working for them in the beginning of the game. And those little things were penalties and not what you want to see. I know after this game, Coach Knight is going to be talking to his team about these penalties. But nevertheless, Clearview Clippers run trips to the left side of the field, single back formation. Stevens takes a snap, rolls to the left side of the field. Stevens has the receiver and is batted away. What a defensive play from the Shaw Cardinals cornerback.
I believe that was number 12, Aaron Hall, that was. And that's just a beautiful bat away, but it will stop the clock. Clearview now has 2 minutes, 50 seconds.
And this is going to be a 2nd and 10 for the Clearview Clippers. That does benefit Clearview in a way, and it also benefits Shaw stopping the clock a little bit too, because Shaw might have a chance to get the ball back and put some points on the board for themselves before the half. Trips to the left again for the Clippers. Stevens, he's going to be a wide receiver screen. It is dropped again. Another dropped receiver screen for the Clearview Clippers.
And I believe that is the second time it has bounced out of the hands of
That is
Braden
the third.
Turner.
Oh, for him in particular, yes. But this Clearview Clippers have been going to this receiver screen a lot, and it has been dropped at least 4 or 5 times this game.
I
They
believe
seem to love this receiver screen, but it's just not working out.
I believe it's only been caught once. That's never something you want to see from a screenplay. They're down at 10 here. This is big.
Stevens. Stevens takes a snap. Stevens. Oh, he has a lane. The middle is open. Stevens comes back to the right. Juking. Dashing. Still up. And he is finally brought down. Joe Stevens with an electrifying play on 3rd and long. Planting the heart out of Shaw Cardinals fans right there.
If you're Joe Stevens, if you're Cody Kaya, if you're anyone on the Clearview Clippers, that is exactly what you want to see. He gets down inside the Shaw 30, and honestly, now scoring might seem like an inevitability if Shaw cannot pull themselves together on defense here.
Will, if you're the coach for the Clippers, are you want to run down some of the clock, or are you trying to score as soon as possible?
I'm trying to score as soon as possible. I believe in our defense, and if we can get another shot after this one, all the better for it.
Hey, Stevens takes a snap. Stevens looking towards the end zone. It's going to be another pass interference. Wow.
And I mean, that one's pretty clear cut.
But that was clear cut, but also, which is not a good thing. It's kind of a catch-22. He was playing good defense, but it was an underthrow. And since it was the underthrow, it's going to be a pass interference. You see this on all types of levels of football, from the high school, college, and in the pros. You see where a quarterback underthrows the ball and the receiver tries to backtrack to the ball, and the defender's right there, and they get caught on pass interference. Very unfortunate situation to get put in as a defensive back for the Shaw Cardinals.
Yeah, and if you watch Jameer Jones on that play, he's listed at linebacker. He's turned away from the ball. He's knocking over the receiver. That was Turner as well. And you just can't do that. You just can't do that.
And there's going to be a problem with the chains. We had a couple of problems with the chains, but not what you really want to see if you're a football fan necessarily watching this. As you heard in high school football, there is no automatic first downs for pass interference, something that I just became aware of.
But even still, I'd hardly call a 1st and 1 a problem.
Indeed. Two-back formation. Joe Stevens takes the snap, fakes the handoff, and he is tackled down.
I see 2 flags.
But there's another penalty. The penalty is on the range of holding. We're going to see.
It's right by the lineman. I got to imagine
offensive
it's
holding. Just when things was getting good for the Clippers, they backtrack. Both teams have a tendency of doing that this game, doing good things and backtracking. A common theme for both teams. And this clock is under 2 minutes now.
Well, 1st and 1 ain't bad. I just mentioned that, but I can't imagine that 1st and 11 is very nice.
That is true. Clearview Clippers lead the huddle, going back to the single back formation with 2 receivers on both sides of the field.
We'll see what Stevens has here. Oh, we've got a whistle.
Sideline woman is looking to be the call. No, I think a mouthpiece issue again, so he's getting took off the field. Shaw Cardinals having a lot of mouthpiece issues this game.
Once is weird, twice is just a weird phenomena.
You can't have it. Looking like they're not guarding the slot again. He rolled up to the right, and he has a man. It is caught. He does get both feet down. Stevens pass. It's caught.
That's 19, Molina again. He's been all reliable on offense so far.
It looks like him and Molina has a really good relationship. He's getting him the ball fast. He's always looking for him, too. Every time he goes out to the right, he is looking for his number 1 receiver, and he's always there.
And so that should make 2nd and 2. Clock is still running. We've got about 1 minute and 20 here.
Trips to the left side of the field. 2nd and 2. Stevens takes a snap. He throws it deep, and it is caught! Touchdown, Clearview Clippers! With 1 minute and 12 seconds remaining in the half. Clearview strikes again. The offenses are finally working in this game after looking like a defensive battle going into this half.
And here we go. Coach Kai is going for 2. Well, now Clearview is up another 6 points again. Shaw now only with 1:12 to get theirs back, assuming they can even drive this time. And you gotta imagine that Cody Kai going for 2 here.
The lights
He
turned
saw-
off from the far side of the field. I don't know if that will be a problem later on, but there has been a light malfunction on the field.
Now he saw Shaw go for 2 earlier on in the game. We'll see if this is him trying to match energy in a sort of way.
Rolled up to the right, and he has a free lane. The 2-point conversion, and it's good. Stevens rolls up to the right, saw nobody in the middle of the field, and he just walked into the end zone untouched. 2-point conversion is good, and this football game is 14-6, and there's 1:12 remaining. If you're Coach Knight, do you try to score a touchdown here, or you don't want to
Absolutely.
force nothing? Oh, you are going.
Absolutely.
Even
You
with
do
the
not.
passing game has been what it's been.
You want to go into halftime with the momentum with you. Based on what I've seen of Xavier Harris, you don't want to throw the deep ball, which sounds counterintuitive. But the thing is, he's been looking good on the middle range passes. So if you can hit a few of those, get a couple of good runs, I think you have a touchdown in you. Now the real question is, do you have the 2-point to match him coming out of the half?
Indeed, spoken very well right there.
And again, if I'm Coach Kaya, I'm elated, right?
Yes.
Because we just drove down the field, took 2 minutes and 25 seconds to do it, got a perfect score, got a 2-point on top of it. Can you ask for more?
And a great point to bring up, why I agree with you on trying to score off Shaw. Clearview gets the ball coming off in the second half.
Yep.
That comes in so much handy. Going up in the half and knowing you get the ball going in to the second half, confidence for the Clippers team and coaching staff should be sky high right now.
Morale is one of the most important things in this sport, and just behind it, momentum. And right now, Clearview has both.
And kickoff is about to be underway. And it's like a little pooch kick, and it is received by the Cardinals, and he is running, and he's still going. He's moving the pile. Nice, gritty run, and now there's actually a shot for Shaw to score. They're on the 50-yard line midfield with 1:04 to go in this half. Not what you want to see for Clearview.
And you watch number 15, Sir Andreas Walker on that one. You got to be happy he got to the 50. You got to be happy he didn't muff the return. Everything about that was what you want to see if you're Coach Knight.
Yeah, and also, we have, like we talked about earlier in the broadcast, and have you seen during the course of the game, Shaw is really good at running the ball, but unfortunately have no timeouts. But if you did, you had an opportunity to run the ball and see if you could have got something. But let's see what Coach Knight and this coaching staff for the Cardinals have cooking up. 2 receivers set on both sides of the field, single back formation. Harris is receiving orders from the sideline right now. Harris looking like he's ready for the snap now.
Linemen are still up. Play clock's running.
Harris takes the snap, steps back in the pocket, steps up, pump fake. Harris is going to go, but this play is going to get brought back for a holding, so it doesn't even matter. Another penalty for this Shaw Cardinals team. This is not what you want to see. This is stuff that cannot happen if you want to be a competitive team. And each player on this team and each coaching staff member all has said the same thing. They're looking to make a state playoff run. And you can't do that with these type of penalties.
Well, if I'm looking at this play, I see one bad thing, 2 good things. The bad thing is that you're back 10 yards, you're on your own 40. The good thing is Xavier Harris showed a good amount of escapability there, and you stopped the clock with 55. So, it's not all bad.
Single back formation here. Harris takes the snap, steps back in the pocket. Harris is looking to evade again. Juke moves in the backfield. Xavier Harris still going. Xavier Harris with a juke move. Harris is still going. Harris is dashing to the middle of the field and finally brought down.
Clock's running.
And
Clock's
the clock
running.
is still running. And there's no timeout. This Shaw team has to get on the ball.
Shaw's not moving quick enough.
Should have ran out of bounds right there. Harris made a mistake. He is a young sophomore, I believe, or junior, and that is a mistake. He should have got that ball out of bounds. Or just snap it. This clock is running.
They're burning too much time.
He needs to snap this ball, and this ball is finally snapped with 20 seconds left. Harris fires the ball. It is caught.
He's got to get out.
Deshaun has to get out of bounds, and he does get out of bounds with 11 seconds on the clock. That took about like 40 seconds off the clock. That is not the situational awareness you need from the Shaw Cardinals. And that's why you need to keep your timeouts.
Now again, I'm looking at this play. There's two set of plays actually, and I'm seeing two good, one bad. The bad is that you ran yourself down to 11 seconds and your guys didn't move quick enough. The good, you got the first down, and Xavier Harris showed that he can pass properly. Looks like we have a timeout here, and a Clearview will take a
Clearview
timeout.
calls the timeout on this play. Kind of interesting. If I'm Clearview here, personal, my opinion, could be wrong. I'm not the coach, but in my personal opinion, I would make Shaw like half the score.
Well, at this point, they do kind of have to. They're down 8 points. They're well within scoring range, if you ask me. But I like this timeout. I like this timeout. Why? Simple. The clock has already stopped. Gives you guys some time to refresh. Gives you some time to plan, some time to think, because that is one of the most important commodities at this point in the game. Time to think.
Indeed, indeed. But on the other side of things, the Shaw Cardinals, if I'm Coach Randy Knight here, I'm telling my players, if this ball is not caught in the end zone, get out of bounds immediately. You got to get out of bounds.
My thoughts exactly.
You have to get out of bounds right here if this ball is caught in the field of play. And I mean immediately get out of bounds.
Because Xavier Harris didn't get out of bounds on that run, that might have shaved off 30 seconds of their time.
Yeah, that really hurt them right there. But one thing we can learn from that run is Xavier Harris is a very shifty player.
That he is.
He juked out a lot of players right there and was able to run downfield.
And now we will see if the Cardinals have what it takes.
Cardinals are marching in Clearview's territory with only 11 seconds left to go in this half. Harris takes the snap. Harris pump fakes, fires downfield, and this pass is caught! Caught! Touchdown! No! It is out of bounds on the run. It looked like he raced in and scored, but my eye was wrong. His foot was out of bounds, and there looks like there's no time left on the clock. Did that really take all 11 seconds? I highly doubt that play was 11 seconds long. But
well, they're moving the post up. Clearly, they think they have time.
I would assume that play was not 11 seconds long.
Nor would I. He went out of bounds as well, so the clock would have stopped. That was Josiah Sanders there.
And I was talking to Coach Randy Knight about key players, and he brought up Josiah Sanders, saying he is an all-state worthy type of player. High praise from your coach before the season even counts.
And let's also not forget, the game clock is being reset to 3 seconds, but let's also not forget that is the first deep ball of the night for Shaw that has worked. You gotta believe that they're feeling good about that.
Yeah, so it's still even better is punching this in. Now the question is, do you run this ball? Running it could hurt you though, but the way these dudes been running, that might be a good option here. So this will be the final play of the half.
It looks like we might have another timeout.
And
Clearview will take another.
Timeout.
I mean, I guess you use them if you got them, but I have to say, if I'm Cody Kaya right now, I'm livid because we've intercepted that play twice. We've almost intercepted it 2 more times, and then we let it slip right through, and they almost score a touchdown off of it. That is never something you want to see. Absolutely never.
If I'm Shaw here, I'm looking for a quick pass to get this out quick, just in case it's a drop or something, because you might be able to have 1 second left.
I agree with that. But even still, if I'm Randy Knight right now, I'm putting a slant over the middle and I'm throwing it no matter what.
Can't say I disagree with that. Your receivers have been catching the ball, and your running backs looking like they can catch too. Both teams are back on the field for this final play of the half. Shaw with 2 receivers lined up to the far left side of the field with a 2 running back formation.
This could be the one.
The ball is handed off, and he does run it. It is a touchdown! Randy Knight was thinking what I was thinking right there. Hand the ball off with these really hard running backs. That's one thing that I can point out really good from this Shaw team. They got some running backs that are gritty and run hard. And that's one thing you want as a coach is a hard running back. And right there, he gets it on the end zone. Have a potential to tie this football game going into the half.
And that one will be credited to Eric Bolden. It looks like they're going into a bit of a odd formation here for the 2-point conversion. Shaw is getting tricky.
Yes, they have, and they've been ballsy all game. So this is not a surprise move from Coach Knight.
It is surprising to look at, though.
And
And it looks like we have a stoppage. It looks like Clearview has called their final timeout.
At first, they was pointing Shaw's way.
Wait.
They was pointing Shaw's way, and I was confused because they have no timeouts here. So
They
what would that
pointed.
mean? Would that be a result in a no play and go straight to halftime?
Well, technically, if you call a timeout when you have none, that's a delay of game. You take a 5-yard penalty. So
Different rules for different levels. We're gonna see what the call is gonna be for this high school football game.
I suppose we
But
will.
then again, from my experience of playing football, I've seen a coach call a timeout without having a timeout before, and the refs just simply told him you have no more. So the fact that the refs blew the whistle right there kind of confusing me. Maybe that's a mess up on the refs part right there.
Well, we have confirmation. Clearview did not spend their timeout, so I can only imagine this is a mistake.
And the both officials, the head official is talking to the other official right here. Shaw's silent, looking like they're heading back to the locker room while their offense is still on the field. A lot of
There is
crazy things
confusion
going.
running rampant today.
Yeah, confusion running around across all the field. Shaw look like they're ready to go back to the locker room and leave their offense on the field.
The officials still conversing with one another. Looks like they're going to approach Shaw's sideline.
Now the head ref is talking to the coach.
So it looks like the head official has just told Randy Knight that he did not have any timeouts left. He's now going over to Clearview's sideline.
I mean, at this point, this is longer than a timeout, so you got what you wanted.
I mean, I suppose you did.
I mean, I guess you can't talk to your players face to face, but from that distance, you still can speak to your players.
And you can't understate the value of rest. But you also have to remember you're giving that rest to the other team as well.
Shaw looking to tie this game going into the half. Let's see what Coach Knight has drawn up. This game has been a defensive battle until the end of the half. Then both offenses start to show their strengths.
The head official is now motioning that Clearview suffered a penalty. It is not clear what the penalty was, but it will put the ball on the one.
To say the least, a lot of confusion. But back to the football, single back formation. Harris takes the snap. Harris looking, Harris fires, and it's caught! And it is going to be a tie game going into the half. Wow. A nice pass from Xavier Harris in the middle, meeting up with his receiver in the end zone.
And that was Carl Reese Jr., and the Cardinals will tie it up just before they leave the half. And so now we will enter halftime. And so now we get to talk about everything we just witnessed. And what I would like to start with is, what in the world was that ending sequence?
That ending sequence was crazy. It didn't look like no one had an understanding what was going on the football field. The refs was blowing the whistles, conversing with the coaches, conversing with each other, and then the ref called a penalty on Clearview and didn't give a signal what the penalty exactly was. So a lot of confusion going on, to say the least. But on the bright side of things for Clearview, Clearview gets 2 interceptions. Could have had more, 2 turnovers for Clearview. But for the Shaw Cardinals, they looked to turn up the offense at the end of that half. The Shaw Cardinals was was not looking good offensively in the first quarter, but soon to turn it up in that second towards the end of that second half.
Well, if I could just add one more comment to that last section. I'm still confused. I think the refs are still confused. I'm pretty sure both coaches are confused. I think everyone's confused about what happened. But what happened is that Shaw managed to tie it up 14-14 just before we leave for the half, and that is going to be a massive boon for them.
Indeed, and now we have the Clearview band gonna play. We'll be back shortly. back live from Tom Hope Stadium, and we are just 10 minutes away from this football game coming back in. And I want to bring up some points about this football game. The Clearview Clippers did not start the game off that high offensively, but was able to find their footing towards the end of that second half. And I would be excited about this offense if I'm the coach of the Clippers, but not so excited about this defense. This defense was playing perfectly fine throughout the course of this game, but the last two possessions, Shaw was racing down the field, multiple big plays, and was able to get a connection, deep connection towards the end zone. Was able to punch that in from Eric Bolden.
Now, the point I'd like to bring up about the Shaw Cardinals, if I'm Randy Knight in this locker room and I just watched what happened, I'm happy because we're still tying Clearview. They scored 14. We scored 14 in very interesting fashion at the end of that first half. However, if there was one thing I'm back there drilling into their heads more than anything else, discipline, discipline, discipline. That many penalties in one half is not tenable. They gave the Clearview Clippers no less than 3 automatic first downs. They had 2 pass interference penalties on them. It has just not been a good day on the referee side for Shaw, and they need to fix that up if they want to win this game decisively.
Yeah, I had a great opportunity of talking to a lot of Shaw players and the coaching staff for Shaw, and they seem like they're pretty high on trying to make a state playoff run this year, and and being better than the last previous years. The last previous years have been rough for Shaw, 2-8 in a 1-8 season, and honestly, they got to be a better team. They look not that bad of a team. But if you want to make a Ohio State football playoffs, it's the little things that are going to get you there. It's the little things like penalties, not having your formation set, having to call a timeout early in the quarter because you don't have the right personnel on the field. That is stuff this Shaw Cardinals team needs to fix up if they want to make a playoff push or just to simply just win this game.
And if there's a second thing I want to bring up about Shaw, it's very easy. It's turnovers. Because they've thrown 2 of them, they haven't gotten one back from the Clearview as much as they've tried and as much as they've gotten close. But what really interests me is how Xavier Harris has been performing. Because the first few passes he had weren't all that great. He had 1 mid-range connection, he had 2 deep ball attempts, but both of those got intercepted. But then, late in the second quarter, leading to the touchdown that tied up the game just before we entered half, he managed to hit a long, deep shot across the right side. I have to wonder whether Randy Knight is going to trust them that much, is going to trust him that much more as we leave the half. If I'm him, I'd still be a little tentative. We have a great run game with Lampkin and Bolden. We're already pushing down the field with that. We managed to get a rushing touchdown on a drive that they didn't pass a single time. So if I'm Randy Knight, I'm willing to give Harris a few more shots, but I'm going to trust the run a lot more.
I agree with that point, but to a certain extent. And what I mean by I agree to a certain extent is it looks like Harris is not comfortable throwing the deep ball. But where he does look confident and comfortable throwing is across the field, in the middle of the field, and short concept routes. So with that being said, yes, I will still give him another chance. I wouldn't completely shut my quarterback down. That is not something you want to put inside of his mind, especially in the first game of the season. So no, I wouldn't do that. But if I'm the coach, I'm gonna shy away from them deep balls if I don't have to do it. First and 10, third and short, I don't have to throw it deep. I can throw 15, 10 yards in the middle of the field. Because to say the least, quite frankly, the Shaw receivers do have a step. He is just not able to get that ball out there. And no, and I'm not trying to down Harris at all. He just put a little bit too much air on the football. When too much air is on the football, the ball is hanging, and it gives the time for the defensive back to come in and break that ball up. So no, I wouldn't shut Harris down because he is throwing the ball pretty well in the middle of the field and in the short route concept. So I think it's up to Coach Knight to identify that about his player and his job to call the plays accordingly to his skill set of his quarterback.
Well, let's get back to Clearview for a minute, because one thing I've really liked from the Clippers thus far has been Coach Cody Kaya's play calling. And I think it's been very underrated. Whenever running is the right move, he runs. Whenever passing is the right move, he passes. But sometimes he gets a little fun with things. He'll send a blitz when it's obviously a running down. Well, sorry, obviously a passing down. He'll send whatever, whenever. And what I like about that is that it keeps him unpredictable. It keeps things uncertain. And in the mind of both the opposing players and the opposing coach, Randy Knight, now you have to wonder if he's going to do the expected thing. And if you guess wrong and he does the expected thing when you weren't expecting him to, or he does the unexpected thing when you were expecting him to, then you're going to lose a lot of yards. And we saw that early on in the game, early on in the second quarter when Fabian Molina caught that long pass down the right side that eventually led to the Clippers making the first score of the game and their first touchdown of the game.
It looks like Coach Kaya has looked at football games as like a chess match because he is out there running plays strategically. You brought up earlier in the broadcast, there was a play where he kept running the ball to Stevenson. Stevenson was getting yards, and then came the read option pool where Joe Stevens was able to get a good gain on that play. So out there, Coach Kaya is playing chess out there.
Now, let's talk about the stats on the screen. As you can see, both scored 14 coming into that half. And the ways that they scored them was a bit different because Shaw has two straight rushing touchdowns, which is perfectly fine. One of them was from a bit far away. I believe that one went to Lumpkin, and that one was a very wonderful play to watch. The second one came off a pass that got them down inside the 10. They handed it off to Bolden, and that was that. But Clearview has been a bit more balanced. Their first touchdown came when slot receiver on that specific play, Braden Turner, was left completely uncovered. He caught him on quarterback Joe Stevens caught him on an early slant, and he just ran it straight in. But the second one I found more interesting because they got close. Then Stevens just ran a design quarterback rollout run, and it was beautiful. So what I think is that I think Clearview is easily the more balanced team here, but I'm not going to discount Shaw because A, their defense has been wonderful, and B, their run game has been wonderful.
In other words, Shaw touchdowns have been way more electric, while on the other side, Clearview has been way more balanced and way more fundamental in driving the ball. So if you really want to look at it, if I'm the Clearview's coaching staff, I would feel very confident in that. So I'll be telling my team, hey guys, we made big mistakes. One play is hurting us because one big play by Lumpkin, a big run, brought them down, was able to score. One big play, the pass to the sideline, getting on the 2 yard line. So those are just big plays. If Clearview stops the big plays, this could be a 14-0 game going into the second half.
But of course, you have to remember the most important word in all of coaching execution.
Correct execution, and Clearview has to execute on them big plays, and and we saw on the other side of the football field too. Clearview executed on a big play too. Shaw was being real greedy with yards. At this time, from what I can recall, it was 0-0, and then Stevens rolls out to the right and throws a laser downfield, one-on-one coverage, and he gets a toe tap on the side of the field, and that what led to the first touchdown to the middle of the field to the slot receiver.
That it is. And the other thing I'd like to point out is on the screen again is that turnovers for section. Because Shaw has not managed to generate a turnover yet. Clearview has generated two, and they both came on what is effectively the same play, both picked off by the same man, Xavier Garcia. And both of them came on a deep ball, where the ball was hung too high, underthrown, and landed right in the corner's hands. The first one, Garcia got to himself, and it was just a thing of beauty. The second one got tipped up. Garcia got to it. He managed a nice return up to the 50, but it got called back to the 54, to the 45. But even still, if you're Shaw, you have to find a way to limit turnovers. Because without those, this could easily be a 14-6, possibly even 14-0 game for the Cardinals.
Yeah, there are big mistakes on both sides of the football where this game could be a drastically changed and be favored by either or. There's some plays where Shaw could have made where they could be up in this game 21-0. Same thing. You can say the same thing for the Clearview Clippers. And I ultimately think this game is going to come down to who executes more and who's more disciplined, because that's what has it been about the whole game: execution and discipline. And I'm actually might change that. It might be discipline above execution, because yes, execution is really good, but how can you execute a play when you have a false start? And how can you execute a play after you do execute it? There's a holding. So you can execute a play but still not have discipline. That can hurt you. So actually, I try to mind both teams need discipline then execution.
It's just like I said earlier. If you cannot generate yards, then you're not going to win the game. Period. And if you are generating yards, but they're getting called back, you're still not going to win the game because those yards mean nothing.
In the final seconds, the halftime is coming in, and we're about to get the second half coming your way shortly.
I'll tell you what, I can't wait.
We are back live from Tom Hope Stadium, and where the Clearview Clippers and the Shaw Cardinals are in an intense battle. Look like a defensive battle, but then both offenses turned up towards the end of the half, and kickoff for the second half is just about to be underway. And this stadium is looking like it's getting to its full capacity.
I gotta say, it's really filling out, and I gotta say, I love it. I love a big crowd for a sporting event. Doesn't matter of what kind.
Oh yeah, the fans make the experience better. Imagine a game without no cheers or no crowd. That kind of defeats the purpose of playing a sport.
You do it all for the fans,
Now let's
always.
see if Shaw does some trickeration, but it does not look like Clearview's going for that, and they are not looking like they want to play with me too, and everyone else that's watching.
It's pretty bold to fake a trick play, but I gotta say, at this stage in the game, I like it. It's a big psychological thing.
Yes, indeed it is. The kickoff is moments away. Second half is started, and it is corralled in. Clearview is taking the ball. makes one player miss, makes the second player miss, and he is brought down at his own 30-yard line. The Clippers are going to start on their own 30-yard line to start this second half.
And you saw Braden Turner on the return there. He tried to get way too cute with things, dodged around a bit too much, and he got hit from behind.
You see a lot of that at the high school level. Players trying to make big plays because sometimes at the high school level you can possibly make them big plays, but it's a long season ahead. You don't want to take unnecessary hits that you don't need to be taking. But to say the least, Clearview is getting ready to start this second half off. Clearview with trips to the left side of the field, single back formation for Stevens. Steven and Stevenson both are in the backfield. Stevens takes the snap, hands it off to Stevenson. Stevenson is brought down with no yards gained. This Shaw defensive line is greedy and
Oh, we've
there's
got
some
flags
penalties,
up.
and it looks like there's going to be some unsportsmanlike, and we're going to see who is it on and what team it's on.
It looked like a little bit of a scuffle there. I saw number 6 and number 9 of
I see
Shaw.
number 50 complaining, so it must be on Shaw. And that's not what you want to see. We were talking about that at halftime, with teams to be more disciplined and better. And that's not what you want to see. You don't want stupid penalties like that.
And it is called a personal foul against Shaw. You want to come out of the half amped. You don't want to come out of the half mad. It's a very simple equation.
And it's a bad reputation you want to put on your team. As a team that's uncontrollable and stuff like that, you don't want that reputation put on your team for a season like this. So that would be a first down for the Clippers right here.
Big 10-yard penalty right there. 15 yards, actually. That's bad.
The Clippers have a different running back in the backfield besides Stevens. Looked like the first time I've not seen Stevens out there. But the ball snap rolls to the left, and he has got some room, and he is still running. He breaks a tackle, still going. He is out of bounds, but not before he goes into Shaw territory. He is taken down at the Shaw 43-yard line.
And that is just an excellent run by Joe Stevens right there.
You have seen that this game that both quarterbacks have been elusive in the pocket and have been to get away from these defensive linemen and going back. It looks like both teams need to invest in on putting the QB spy because both of these quarterbacks are getting out the pocket.
What you saw about Stevens there, first he steps up in the pocket. I liked that. He doesn't immediately default to running. Shows good pocket presence right there.
Single back formation. Steven back in the backfield. Stevens hands it off to Stevenson. Stevenson is going to muster up just a couple yards in that carry. This Shaw defense on this Shaw run defense is very good. They are very stingy with yards.
Well, you gotta love a run defense that does its job. And right now, Shaw seems to have the better one.
True indeed on that, because on the flip side, I think Clearview looks like they're struggling to solve the puzzle of the Shaw offensive running game. But to say the least, the Clippers are back out on the field. Trips formation to the right side of the field, single back formation for Stevens. Stevens takes the snap, steps back in the pocket. Stevens rolls out to the right. Stevens fires to the sideline and is caught. And he is taken down, but not before a 6-yard gain.
That's Braden Turner again. He's had it slip through his hands a few times today. That one, no such bad luck, manages to get a big gain. That'll bring up 3rd and 3.
A big third down coming up here for both teams. Shaw, you want to get off the field right here or force them to go for it on 4th down. Clearview, you're looking to put some more points on the board. Let's see what Coach Kaya has drawn up for this 3rd and 3. Stevens, single back formation, takes the snap, rolls out to the right. Stevens is a run, and he is a foot short. And it's going to be holding on Clearview.
Oh,
now
boy.
This is going flip sideways. Clearview is now the one that's getting caught with penalties. Clearview is now the ones with the offensive holding. This right here is not what you want to get from a 3rd and 1.
And yeah, that'll push him back.
But a good thing about this, though, Shaw was forced to accept it because Clearview was going to go for it no matter what. So now Clearview has 2 chances to kind of get the ball to the 1st down right here. You see at the high school level a lot. Teams don't really punt the ball going in.
Yeah. They don't also kick. So we will see what Joe Stevens has here on 3rd and 13.
trips to the left side of the field, third and long for the Clippers, and the ball is snapped, and it's going to be a QB draw. Stevens with the juke. Stevens still running. Stevens out the lane. Stevens outside. And there's another flag after Stevens is brought down in the red zone. We're going to see what this is called right here. It looks like this play is coming back.
Oh,
It
goodness.
looks like Christian Stevenson, the running back for the Clearview Clippers, who've been playing good all game, looks like he is going to be the one called for a holding on this play.
And
Wow.
you know what I mentioned at halftime? Discipline, discipline,
Oh, it's going
discipline.
to be a face match with the Cardinals. So I do not know what Christian Stevenson was arguing about. He might have been the one that got fooled by the face match.
Well, even still, discipline, discipline, discipline remains. It's a 15-yard penalty against Shaw. They had already lost the first down, but it's going to hurt a lot more when it comes from a foul rather than just a good run.
Clearview gets another red zone chance here to put some more points on the board. This Clearview offense is starting to click after that first quarter. Two back formation. Hands it off to Stevenson. Stevenson pumping it into his offensive line. He's still running. Stevenson touchdown. Touchdown. Christian Stevenson fumbling all the way into the end zone. Touchdown, Clearview Clippers.
Well, Shaw did manage to knock the ball out right at the end, but it did him no good. Fabian Molina fell on it anyways.
Clearview's offense looked like they got it going. Now the question to be remains: does the Shaw offense still can come back with another score like they did previously in this game? Both offenses are looking to turn this thing up to an offensive scoring battle.
Well, it looks like the Clippers are going to go for one yet again. They missed it their first time. We'll see how it goes now.
Has a chance at redemption from his first missed PAT. Snap is good, and the kick is no good, but there is a penalty on the field. But the whistle is being blown.
It looks like they might be calling that penalty back.
It looks like there's a penalty on Shaw again.
Oh, dear.
Oh, wow, encroachment defense on the Shaw Cardinals. And this discipline for this Shaw team is really showing right now.
I believe that marks foul number 8 on the game for them. They missed the field goal. You take a penalty anyways. Now you put them in prime position to go for 2. They're bringing Joe Stevens back on the field. I gotta imagine that the Clippers are gonna go for 2, and that would put them up 8 points against these Shaw Cardinals.
Yeah, this is actually a really big for the Shaw Cardinals right here. They need to get a stop because the defense is not looking too bright right now. They need to get this 2-point conversion stopped right here. Single back formation. Stevenson lined up behind Stevens.
Yeah, they're going for 2.
Ball on the place on the 1-yard line. Stevens motions in the receiver. The ball is snapped. Stevens to the outside, and he is in. The 2-point conversion is good. Good 8-point football game. Clearview Clippers 22 to Shaw Cardinals 14. Can Shaw respond? But before we figure that out, there's another injury for the Shaw Cardinals, and we're going to have a blown dead. Injury and discipline for the Shaw Cardinals all night long has been the story.
Oh, goodness. We have the trainers for Shaw back out on the field, and man, this is Shaw's 3rd injury of the night. You know, coming into this game, they already had 7 different players on injured reserve, and now that number might rocket up to 10 for next week.
That's something you don't want to see, especially when your starters are already having trouble with discipline. You know, these are things you can fortunately fix at practice, though. So it's not necessarily a terrible thing. They still have a chance to win this football game. But let's say, hypothetically, they don't. This is stuff you can fix at practice. You can fix discipline and penalties at practice. That's a practice thing you can fix. Them are things you can fix. It's not a skill issue. Shaw is playing some good football offensive defensively in ways like their running game is good. Their defensive line group looks pretty good. But they have to lock in on these penalties and discipline. Because if not, that playoff run they so desperately want is not going to be foreseen.
I have to agree.
And we're going to take a moment while Shaw staff looks to check on the injured player. We'll be back shortly.
just did this. We're fine. We're fine.
Clearview picks this ball off, and it's going to be received by Shaw, number 4 for the Cardinals. Oh, he has a lane, and he has all the way, and he's still running, and he is cooking down.
Dejan Black very nearly had a lane there. A little update on the injury that we watched before we went to a short break. That was Eric Bolden, which is going to be a major blow to the Shaw Cardinals offense here. The loss of Bolden, that's a loss of one of their top. That's the loss of their top running back duo. He was doing great with Lumpkin. Well, if he is, that would be fantastic news for Shaw. He seemed to be jogging off the field. Let's hope he's all right.
Yeah, he is lined up next. Two-back formation is Lumpkin and Bolden in the backfield, and this ball is handed off to Bolden. Bolden has no room, but Bolden gets tackled after a 5-yard gain.
Forward to the 35-yard line, gaining 3, second down, 7.
Technical difficulties right there, but Dwayne Lumpkin with another big play. This dude has been fantastic for this team. He heart and soul for the Shaw Cardinals team. And it's handed off to Lumpkin again, but there will be a flag on the field. It's going to be Eric Bolden. So there's going to be another flag in the area of offensive holding. And they're actually putting on the defense, it looks like. Yet to be remained what the penalty is. Sorry once again for technical difficulties.
Well, back to the game. Coming out of this half, the Shaw Cardinals, they weren't in the best position. They had come out, they had kicked it off, and Clearview drove right down, and they scored with ease. So now, Shaw has to fire back, and it looks like they're doing a very good job of doing that. They're now on the 12, sitting on 1st and 10.
Both teams have executed very good in the red zone. Both teams, I think, have scored each of their red zone. Two-back formation, Derek takes the snap. And it was a miscommunication when they jumped. He didn't hit nothing on that play. The loss of Sharif. It looked like he wanted to hand that off to Lumpkin, but was not able to.
Well, you know, that's just an unfortunate play right there.
And now the entry bug is now flipping towards the Clippers now. It looks like they just having a cramp by the looks of it, by the way they're stretching. It looks like just having a cramp. A high intensity game, you tend to see a lot of cramps going on through the ankle.
Well, let's hope it's only that.
Shaw once again is trying to punch in and on the red zone version. Both teams have been very successful in the red zone. We're going to see how successful Shaw will be in this red zone appearance.
Well, now they have to sit with the ball on the 5. 7 minutes left here in this third quarter. We've been moving at a very high pace so far in this second half.
It seems like we've been moving at a high pace ever since the very middle of that second quarter. In that middle of that second quarter, there have been a lot of big plays. Big play after big play for both teams.
It was a total of 28 points scored there in the second quarter. Very big quarter after a scoreless first. Now, Clearview's already scored once here in the third. We'll see if Shaw can tie it up again.
And Clearview's defensive player is still down on the field, looking to stretch him out.
Well, it looks like they're still insistent on stretching him. We'll see how well that works.
To say the least, I can tell you this crowd is anticipated for some more football, but a good sign here for number 0 for the Clippers. He is back on his feet. He is a little wobbling, walking back, though, walking a little slow. But that's a good sign to see him standing up, though.
If he can't play, that would be a very big blow. That's Christian Stevenson, of Clearview. We've been calling his name all night.
Oh yeah, that would definitely be a big blow. I didn't notice his number by the way he was laying down, but that is the heart and soul of their running back team. I could say Lumpkin and Christian Stevenson have been the two best players this game, and they're both running backs for opposite teams, and both has been the bell cow for both of these teams too.
I've got to say, that's hard to argue.
And he is still taking his time walking off the field. That's not what you want to see from your starting running back who has been playing good all day.
Referees are waiting to give the okay until Stevenson is off the field.
Two back formation for Harris. Harris takes the snap, hands it off to Lumpkin. Lumpkin finds the lane, and he is in for a touchdown. Dwayne Lumpkin with another touchdown. Keep feeding the beast. He cannot be stopped. Dwayne Lumpkin with another touchdown.
I mean, he's just been unstoppable all day. What more do you want from him?
Both teams have been finding their footing on offense these last couple possessions, and Shaw looking to go for two to tie this football game up.
And I've got to say, I don't know if Shaw has this two in them. It might just be me, but for some reason I'm feeling like Clearview will stop him.
Hands it off, get it back to the bell cow. Lumpkin. Lumpkin got the edge. The two-point conversion is good. Just give it to Lumpkin and everything will be okay.
Well,
Dwayne Lumpkin is carrying the load for this Shaw Cardinals football team. And a good point you brought up about the two-point conversion. I think two-point conversions might be the teller of who's going to win this football game.
Well, you can call that play a little bit of egg on my face because I said that Shaw wouldn't get it, and guess what? They got it about as easy as you can. But even still, I do agree with your statement. I do think who gets the two more efficiently is going to be what eventually decides this game.
Indeed, both teams not looking like, well, Shaw has not tried out a field kicker at one time. They did not even attempt a PAT, so you wonder if they even have a field goal group. But on the flip side of things, Clearview has, but he has missed both his attempts. So how confident are you late in this football game now on your kicker? And I would say probably not too confident. So you might have to. The rest of the game you will see probably two-point conversions from both teams. The two-point conversions might be the end all be all for this game.
Well, if I'm Cody Kaya, Shaw's gone for two every single time, right?
Correct.
So what I'm thinking is, I might as well go for two every single time because if they're going to do it every time, I'm just keeping up. And since we've already missed both PATs, what's the harm?
No, I definitely agree. After missing both PATs, I'm always a person that believes in keep confidence in your players, especially young players and just high school players in general. Keep them with confidence. So it's not good to just strip the player from his duties, but late in the game when it comes down to it, winning the game is more important than feelings. So I would have to tend to lean towards what you're saying and go for two from here on out.
Yep. Shaw in that same huddle position. They might try a trick again.
Let's see what Shaw does. They run fast to it, and they're going to fake it again. This Shaw team looking very confident.
I think they might try a little trick again here.
Kick is off. Not a great kick. This ball is bounced around. He is just going to fall right on it. Good move right there. Not trying to pick up a ball that's been bounced around. That's what you want to do if the ball is not corralled perfectly.
I mean, yeah, you see the ball bouncing like that. You have to get on your chest to grab it. That's about as smart as you like. You don't want to get back up after that. You don't want to get up. You don't want to risk a fumble. You don't want to risk losing more yards. You want to stay down, stay safe.
Indeed, and the point of me bringing that up is simply because we have seen all game long, whether it's Shaw or Clearview, they like to return stuff that is not really reasonable to return.
Agreed.
Clearview, quick to the line, single back formation, runs to the outside, and he is smashed with a big hit. The Shaw Cardinals defense is still there. He's yelling in his face. Never mind, excuse me. He picked him up and helped him up, but what a hit from number 14 on Shaw right there. He came crashing in. Did not let him get that, but not a good sign for Clearview with not having Stevenson out there.
Well, it was already a bold play. That was number 11, Keegan Vance, as a running back. He took a direct snap, tried to run it away himself. It was a very interesting play.
Single back formation, trips to the left side of the field. Shaw is still loading that box. Stevens with a quick wide receiver screen. You've seen this all night, and there's a ball out, but the refs say he is down. So that is just going to be a 5-yard gain for the Clearview Clippers. Third and long, third and medium coming. There's another injury.
Oh, dear.
This is not looking good for both teams. Never love to see injuries. This is just not good to see. Not the way you want to see from both teams. It actually looks like another cramp.
Wait, we've got 2 down. There's another one back by the huddle.
Wow, that's 2 more players down.
That makes 6 total man-down incidents today, 3 for each team. Going back to that play, that was a big pass to Brendan Turner on the screen. We've seen them try that twice before. He dropped it both times. Managed to get his hands under it that time. Gave him 2 yards, 3rd and 5. Overall, I don't really know if it's time to go back to the well on that one.
Well, you got to think. Coach Kea knows his teams to the T at this point, I would assume. I don't know if he's that confident with trying to pound the football without his bell cow not in the game. Because you've seen both close plays. They went to a quarterback option to the right and then to the ball. And we still got players out the field right now.
Well, the far one is walking back. That is Braden Turner.
And he looks like he is okay. I mean, he had a little wobble, but it looks like he probably had a cramp. And number 0 for the Clippers is back up on the field.
That is Christian Stevenson. I'm glad to see that he's all right.
He's back into the game, Christian Stevenson.
And so now a tough 3rd down for Clearview here.
A big 3rd down right here. Can Shaw finally get a stop and stop this Clearview offense? Get in their tracks. Clippers. Snap is made. He's going to throw a quick pass, and it's going to keep moving. He's going to fall down immediately. He put the up with a shoelace tackle, number 17, for the Cardinals in on that play.
That was the sophomore Tyler Hill on that reception. He tried to make a move out of nothing, and he did manage to get the guy to miss. Just couldn't stay on his feet afterward. Brings up 4th and 3.
Correct. He did. It seemed like he missed. I thought I saw his hand hit his shoe, and that might have tripped him up. I could be wrong. But Shaw with a great defensive stand right there, getting the ball back, can't take the lead. And that looks like the false start. We're going to see what the call is. And that is a key to false start on the Clearview Clippers, making this situation a little bit worse. It will. I have a question for you. All game long, I have been noticing the snap is taking a little too long for the Clippers, and the punt is not getting out quick. If you're Shaw and Randy Knight, are you going for a block?
Yes, immediately. If I catch that, I want that block, because you know what that is? That's money.
We're going to see, and that play is almost blocked, but Dejon Black is set to return. Dejon Black touched the ball, I think. I don't know. The ref didn't signal he touched it. It looked like he touched it. The coaches are elated on the Clearview sideline. I thought he honestly touched that ball a little bit, but good for Shaw and Shaw Cardinals fans. That play is going to just be ruled down and be their ball. But if you're Coach Knight, you tell Mr. Black, if you're not going to fair catch it or touch it at all, run away from the ball. You see it all the times in the pros in college, them just run away from the ball.
I'm not entirely certain if he did touch it or not. What I do know is that it looked very close, and he was very indecisive about whether or not he was going to grab it.
In that position, you have to make a decision of what you're going to do.
My thoughts exactly. You need to be decisive on the return. You need to be decisive on the return. And if you aren't, you're going to lose the football. And he's very lucky he didn't lose it that time.
Two-back formation for Shaw. Coach Knight is telling his team what to do on the field.
He's got 5 seconds on the play clock.
Snap is made. Snap is fumbled. Handed off to Eric Bowden, but he's going to get nothing on that play. Defensive line holds them to 0 yards on that play. The line of scrimmage.
I can't help but feel like the snap is a little bit rushed there, but I understand why. If you're Xavier Harris, you look up, you see that play clock on 5 seconds. You're already trying to deal with Coach. It's just a lot. And you may mishandle the snap, but you managed to get the handoff. So overall, not the worst outcome.
Two-back formation for Shaw Cardinals. Snap is made. Harris fakes the handoff. Harris looking. Harris fires. He has a man. It is caught. He's running, racing down the sideline. No one's going to catch him. And that is going to be a Shaw Cardinals touchdown. Shaw takes the lead.
And that is an excellent play. Who else would it be but Dwayne Lumpkin catching the pass out of the backfield, running all the way up the left sideline. No one within a country mile of him. And he just runs it all the way to the end zone to put Shaw up 6.
That right there was a well-executed play and a great play call by Coach Knight right there. He had most of his players on the right side of the field, and he had his running back have a block for a second, and then Dwayne Lumpkin sneaked out to the outside and was wide open, and there was no defenders right there. That defense broke down, and the Cardinals flipped this game and take the lead for the first time of the night.
And you know what I'm thinking if I'm Randy Knight? I'm thinking, yes, that's exactly what I want. I'm very, very happy about this because, you know why? Because Xavier Harris kept himself calm, made the right read, and look at what happened.
Correct.
Perfect play.
Correct. Xavier Harris made the right read, and he identified the blitz. It looked like Clearview was blitzing on the side where Lumpkin was wide open.
And it looks like we have a man down at the corner. It looked like it was the last guy who tried to tackle Lumpkin on his way to the end zone. He was a safety way back, tried to come in on the angle, couldn't quite get him, rolled a little bit as he came down. Might have injured himself a little, but I think it shouldn't be anything major.
And now, the important thing to me, you talked about the two-point conversion. We talked about this earlier. The two-point conversion is going to be the biggest for both teams here because both teams looking like they're not going to kick no PATs this game. And we still have a player down. Or no, I don't see a player down, but the rest are conversion in the middle of the field. There is a player down. Sorry, I did not see that from my point of view right there. He is on the 1 yard line to the end zone, and it looks like each Clearview player looks like the same injury. Every time a Clearview player is getting treated, they're stretching their leg. I don't know if they're not hydrated enough or something, but it looks like a much of the same injuries for the Clearview Clippers.
Could very well be either that or just an unlucky string.
Both teams are back on the field.
Cards going for 2.
Both teams on the field, but the player is still down on the field. So this is quite concerning that he has not gotten up yet. So I'm thinking it might be more than just a strain.
It looks like the referees are going to wait for the okay from the trainer.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Hopefully get him moved. I can't imagine they run a play. Yeah, they're going back off. I guess one of the referees just thought that maybe they were a bit too early on it. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine.
Shaw Cardinals went back to their sideline. Shaw went back to their sideline, but the Clippers are still out on the field right now. Coach Knight gets some extra moments to think about this two-point conversion. What do you do right here? You have a running back in Dwayne Lumpkin who is fairly good within his 2-yard range to get 2 yards. But on the flip side of things, Harris has been making good passes in shorter ranges. So where would you go on this play?
Well, it seems to me that Harris has managed to calm his nerves. He's got the jitters out. He's making the right reads. He's making the right plays. He's being accurate. I love it. I'm still giving it to Dwayne Lumpkin because he's Dwayne Lumpkin. Have you seen how he's been performing this game? It is wonderful. And it looks like the man on the far end has managed to get up. That is Xavier Garcia, the man who has intercepted Harris twice today. He is needing help to get off the field. That is no good.
Yeah, it's not what you want to see from one of your star players in this game. And for this two-point conversion, the Cardinals, Coach Knight is going to send out a two-back formation with two receivers to the left side. And this ball is handed off, and it's handed off to who else? And there's going to be a flag on this play. So we're going to see if this is good or not.
Well, it's who else but Lumpkin. It's who else but Lumpkin. I think he was a bit short anyhow. We'll see what the referees have to say here. It's offensive holding. That penalty is declined, and so it remains 28-22.
And we see the first mess up on the two-point conversion here. I don't think it was going to be good regardless, but if I'm Coach Kaya, I'll be excited about that just off the simple fact that if we score, we have a chance to take the lead.
Yeah. If I'm Coach Kaya right now, I'm feeling pretty good about this. We have to do a little bit better on offense because last time we went out, we had to punt, and that gave them this chance. And we also have to be a bit better on the defensive backfield for another point. But I'm feeling all right because now, if you score, you get that 2-point conversion. You score again, get that 2-point conversion. You put the game out of reach
And
with one score.
most
So
definitely. And on the Shaw Cardinals end, they're looking to get a big stop here. A stop right here can do so much for this team right here.
it would do wonders. About 4 minutes 40 left here in this third quarter. It has been at breakneck speed.
Yeah, man. Ever since that first quarter, both offenses has turned it up. Not we was expecting a defensive battle. Let's see what trickeration the Shaw have on this kickoff, and it looks like it's gonna be a bunch of the same old running there and stopping and making everyone else out, including us.
It's the third time they've done it. Have to wonder if it's getting old hat by now.
Shaw looking to kick this ball off. This ball is gonna be kicked down and corralled at the 25, and cuts it to the outside. He has an angle, and he is going to be out of bounds. Looks like that is going to be brought all the way to the 46-yard line. The Clippers starting off with pretty good range to start this possession right now.
That was number 16, Felix Quinones. The first time we've called his name tonight. A bit late into the night, but it's no issue.
In a close game like this, I'd rather you say my name later in the game than early in the game.
I understand that.
Clippers bring out single back formation. A good look for the Clippers fans. You got their star running back out on the field, Stevenson. Stevens takes the snap. Stevens pitches out to Stevenson. Stevenson is not going to get nothing. Well, never mind. He gets a little something, just a 2-yard gain. But this defensive line for the Shaw Cardinals is just so stingy. They snuffed that out pretty easily.
I mean, yeah, this Shaw run defense has been stout all day. It's been broken a couple of times, but it has never broken all the way.
If I'm Coach Kyle here, I think you should go back to your pass game. You really think about it, their pass game has not been bad. The quarterback has not thrown an interception and has made some pretty good balls and decisions down the field.
I have to agree, Joe Stevens has been looking pretty nice all day.
Joe Stevens in the backfield with his counterpart, Stevenson. Stevens takes the snap. Stevens fires the short route slot, and he is brought down immediately after the 3-yard catch. The Shaw Cardinals defense is locking in on these players.
He wanted that same pass to Braden Turner, that quick in slant that would get him. It got him the touchdown the first time he played it. This time, it'll barely get him a yard, give him 3rd and 8.
And that's signs of good coaching and a good team. You don't let one thing beat you multiple times in a game. And unfortunately, right there, Shaw locked in on that slot receiver and didn't allow a big yard game on there. But it is a big 3rd down for the Clearview Clippers right here. A trips to the right side of the field, single back formation for Stevens. Stevens takes a snap. Stevens steps up in the pocket. He fires it to the sideline. It's back and intercepted. The Shaw Cardinals gets their first interception of this ball game. Shaw looking to take a big leap right here.
And after suffering 2 interceptions of their own, Shaw has finally managed to get theirs back. Ramaj Davis, an excellent play on that ball to steal it away from Clearview. And this is a disaster.
Shaw is getting hit with another penalty, so yes, they got that interception, but they will be deep in their own territory to start this possession, though.
Even with that, this is a disaster for Clearview. You come out, you just let them score. You had an opportunity to go up 2 points if you managed to drive it down, but instead, you throw your first interception of the night, your first turnover of the night, and you give Shaw the ball back, 6 points up. This is not good.
And it also feels like that play was very forced. It felt like it was very predetermined, and I feel like when you predetermine you're going to throw the ball to, that's where you throw your picks. And as experience, when I play quarterback, every time I threw a pick, it was predetermined. You know, it happens, especially at this level, but you got to make the right read. If you think your player's going to be open, but he's not, you just got to throw that football away.
My thoughts exactly. The quarterback has multiple reads for a reason. If you don't have the first one, look for another.
And this is good for the Shaw Cardinals and Coach Knight. They're doing good with the run game. So they have a chance to actually run the timeout right here. We're gonna see what they got up their sleeve. Two back formation. Harris with a snap. Harris hands it off. Bowden. Bowden is cutting to the outside. Bowden might have the edge, and no, he does not. He is corralled out of bounds, but not before getting the first down.
Yeah, they will mark him well within the first. And that's a great opener, but unfortunately he's going out of bounds, so they'll stop the clock at 2:48.
That is interesting. I thought they in high school rules they don't stop the clock because the out of bounds were under 2 minutes left. That's what I was told, but yes, that is correct because the clock is not running. Harris takes a snap, hands it off to who else? Lumpkin. Lumpkin is trying to get the edge. Lumpkin will have the edge, but not for long. He's only got 3 yards, but that is good for a first down. For a first down play, get 3 yards. Can't say enough about Dwayne Lumpkin. This dude is having an all-star performance of the game.
I mean, what could you say to overstate Dwayne Lumpkin's importance in this game? He has accounted for 3 of Shaw's 4 touchdowns thus far, and he's accounted for both of their 2-point conversions. He has been Mr. Wonderful so far.
He has been doing wonders for this Shaw team. I don't know what this team will be without Dwayne Lumpkin, honestly. Certainly not in this football game. But under 2 minutes going on in this third quarter. Harris takes a snap, looks for a receiver screen. He got the receiver screen. He got nothing, and he makes nothing into something. Getting back to the line of scrimmage. He was 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage, but Dejon Black was able to get back to the line of scrimmage. That's what you like to see from a player when you have nothing, make it into something at least.
And you gotta love the play from Dejon Black, catching it so deep in his own territory. It really seemed like Xavier Harris made a bit of a mistake there, might have pump faked it. Just a bit of an odd play, but they did manage to get 2 yards out of it. That makes 3rd and 4.
Indeed. I don't know if Harris thought it might have been picked off right there, so he was being more cautious. But nonetheless, 3rd and short for the Shaw Cardinals. Big 3rd down coming up. Harris takes the snap, hands it off, cuts in the middle of the field, and Clearview denies him of any yards. This is going to be a 4th down. What does Coach Knight do here?
Well, we've seen him be aggressive so far. He's tried to go forward on 4th down 3 times so far. 2 have been called back by penalty, but the other one succeeded. And one of them would have succeeded if it didn't get called back by penalty. So, facing down about 4th and 4.
Oh, now you have to punt this ball.
And now we're definitely punting because
this is a 4th down and
holding penalty,
now.
you send it back 10 yards. You can't take that no matter where you are in the field.
Even with all the mishaps for Shaw, they still are up in this game. That is some words of motivation you can give your players. Like, hey, guys, we have been very dysfunctional and had very little to none discipline, yet if any discipline all game, and we're still up. That shows we're a good and better football team possibly. Not saying they are, but that's what
hang
you
on a
can tell
minute.
your team.
The offense is still out on 4th and 14.
No, they
3rd and 14.
Wow,
and he fumbles the snap.
I guess it was 3rd down. They kept the 3rd down king on multiple times. I don't know if I got confused or.
I believe that the holding call did keep it on 3rd down, but even still,
okay, yeah,
that'll make it 4th and 15. And now the punting unit should come on if the coach has any sense.
And if I'm Clearview, if I'm Coach Kyle right here, I'm sending the dogs. These guys are backed far into their own side of the field, and I'm looking to block this punt.
I've got to agree.
I'm sending everybody right here from Coach Kyle. Let's see what he does. And it looks like that's exactly what he's going to do.
I've got to agree. If you can block it right here, you're right in position for a touchdown.
There's a flag on the field. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, boy.
Oh, the zeros happen. And that is going to be another delay of game for the Shaw Cardinals.
Oh, goodness.
Mistake after mistake after mistake. That is not what you want to see.
If you're running,
we both know in high school football, I mean this with all due respect, the punters are not as good at the high school football level. So we're going to see how far he can get this football.
If you're managing a delay of game on 4th and 15, then what are you doing, respectfully?
Clean snap. And that ball is blocked. It was kicked off a defender. Oh, but it was touched by a Clearview player by the looks of it. It was touched by a Clearview player. And it's Shaw football.
Oh, man. Oh,
Clearview with
man,
a big
oh, man.
mistake on that play, touching the ball. It looked like It looked like that's what Shaw was almost did earlier in the game, but no, Clearview actually did it. That ball bounced and unfortunately hit one of Clearview's players, and now that is Shaw's football again.
That is absolutely disgusting. If you manage to block a kick,
And now you
you
get the
need
chew more time off the clock. I'm sorry for interrupting you right there.
if you manage to block a punt, there's one thing you have to remember. You need to get that back. Capital N need. If you cannot get that ball back and you manage to touch it, you're just handing the opponent another set of downs. And that's exactly what they've done here with Shaw.
Two-back formation for the Cardinals. And looks like the refs are talking about whether it's dead ball or not. But I think that ball was kicked off the back of a Shaw player, so that will make the play live regardless. But we're going to see what they are going to say about this play. They might give this ball back to Clearview.
If they do, it would be a disaster for Shaw. If they don't, it's an even bigger disaster for Clearview.
This right here is a big time moment for both teams. We're going to see what's favored because on the one side, Shaw can run the clock out, but on the flip side, Clearview can take the lead. So we're going to see. But if that, from my knowledge, if that ball was kicked off a Shaw player's back, that play was live. So we're going to see what they say.
To the best of my remembrance, the punt block rules are this.
I thought
Once the punt goes up, it is considered, I believe, a fumble by the team that was kicking. And once it's a fumble by the team that was kicking, if the opposing team manages to get it. All right, so it's the end of the third quarter is what they were talking about.
Looking like a lot of mishaps going on with the reffing.
So
not necessarily a problem with the referee, but a little confusion of what's going on the field, though.
As I remember, if the kicking team then recovers it, it's a fourth down conversion. Opposing team gets the ball, and if the opposing team gets it, then they get the ball where they get it. The only way, to my knowledge, for the receiving team to lose the football back and give a fresh set of downs is if they grab it, fumble it, and then it goes back to the kicking team. But even then, I think it might still be a fourth down conversion. So overall, we don't know what the hell's going on.
Well, Coach K is out on the field and he's talking to each and one of the referee, letting them have it. But it looks like Clearview's defense on the field. So I think it was just the end of the quarter, which I don't know how that would be the end of the quarter. But it was, though, I guess. I don't know how. I thought there was still 5 seconds left, but they called it at the end of the quarter. So,
I guess they thought that the clock ran dry. So, if that's what they think, then that's what we're going with. And it looks like Shaw will have the football.
Clear. Hands it off to who else? Lumpkin. Lumpkin is running, and he is stiff-arming his way out of bounds, and that's going to be a Shaw first down. And there's another injury on the field for Clearview. This is a disaster.
That would be non-contact as well. He didn't run into anyone. That's Tyler Hill, the sophomore.
And non-contact injuries, you do not want to see. I personally had a non-contact injury where I tore every ligament in my knee, so that is stuff you don't want to see as a player just fall down and point at his knee.
And now we are waiting on the referee okay to see what we're going to do here.
And the rest of the whistles and
it looks like the referees didn't know there was a man down. Coach Kaya had to come point it out for them. Oh, man.
This is a wild day of football, to say the least. But guess what, guys? Football's back. So
in full force, I suppose. Anyways,
we're getting everything all in one. We're getting great offense, great defense, some mishaps with the officials. You know, you gotta love it. It's football. Football's back.
Yeah.
But we want to thank each viewer that's coming in and watching this broadcast right now. And there's actually 2 players that are down for the Clearview Clippers.
Well, it looks like
one's on the field still.
It looks like Tyler Hill managed to get up under his own power, went back to the bench. The other one's getting up now. That is number 4, Joe Stevens. That would be a massive blow. That's their starting quarterback. But it looks like he's going back out.
I have seen a couple interesting to point out. I don't want to accuse people of wrong things, but each player that has gotten hurt for the Clearview Clippers has gotten back on the field within the next play or two. Who knows what they're just trying to stall time to figure things out during this rough patch during the game.
Well, we can never know quite what they're feeling or quite what they're thinking. But even still, Shaw back on offense here.
Two-back formation for the Cardinals. Two receivers to the far left of the field. Harris takes the snap, hands it off to Bowden. Bowden breaks the tackle, breaks another one. He is going to get a 3-yard gain, and that's going to be 2nd and 7 coming up. Eric Bowden with a hard-nosed run right there. The identity of this team once Coach Knight told me personally he wants this team to be a tough, gritty team. And their running backs are running like tough and gritty right now. Two-back formation once again for the Cardinals. Harris takes a snap, hands it back off to Bowden. Bowden breaks a few tackles. Bowden is still running. Bowden is still running. Bowden breaks some more tackles, and he's finally brought down after a big game. A first down, and the Shaw Cardinals is going to eat up some more clock. Eric Bowden with a fantastic run.
I mean, he just turned into a tank right there. Ran through no less than about 4 guys, 5 guys. Insane stuff from Eric Bowden.
I interviewed him, and he told me, I know I'm a small guy, but I am strong, and he's proving it right there.
I have to agree with that assessment.
Harris takes the snap. He's going to hand that ball up, and he's running through players, and it's going to be another penalty, and it looks like it's going to be on 77. Good game right there. But we're going to see.
That was number 7 on the run there, Jameer Jones. It's the first time we've called his number tonight on offense. Called him on defense a few times. He was the one who got that big pass interference call earlier.
See whose the penalty is on and what is what. Yes. Oh.
And it'll be a face mask against the Clearview Clippers. And that'll move the Shaw Cardinals up another 15 yards well into opposing territory.
This is so interesting. In the first half, it was Shaw with the discipline issues. Now it's Clearview with all the discipline issues right now. This is insane, the way this football game has flipped.
Yeah.
Two-back formation. Harris takes the snap. Harris step back in the pocket. Harris firing deep. And he is almost intercepted. Dejon Black playing defensive back right there.
Ripped away Christian Stevenson from that ball. Saved the interception right there. Dejon Black playing the hero. But, man, you have got to imagine that is just a terrible ball for that situation. Black was wide open, middle of the field, and Harris just lofts it that a little bit too much and lets Stevenson get in on it.
I'm going to take one thing back from Harris. The coach should not be throwing the ball right there when they're obviously running the ball good late in the game. But Harris takes a snap, hands it off, and the Clippers stop him right there. Excuse me, the Clippers said, no. We've seen this run game all night, but we're not going for none of it. But this clock is still running, and Shaw is going to get content with running this clock. 3rd and long right here. A big 3rd down, probably the biggest 3rd down of the game. And the Clearview Clippers.
They have Jameer Jones and Carl Reese out here right now. They don't have their top running backs.
Clippers Stadium is trying to get this team rocking. Big 3rd down for the Shaw Cardinals. What do they have up their sleeve? Harris takes the snap. Steps back in the pocket. Fires. He has a man. It's Dejon Black. Dejon Black is going to be stopped short for the 1st down. And that's going to be a 4th and 4 right there. I'm going to imagine that the way Coach Knight has been calling the game so far, that to stay safe enough that they're going to go for this 4th down while being on Clearview side of the field.
I have to say, I think I see him doing it.
And he does keep his offense on the field.
They haven't kicked this game so far, so I don't think they're going to start now. Punting from this position is untenable.
If they're looking to get this playoff, there is 9 seconds on this play clock. They need to hurry up or take a timeout. Won't be mad at a timeout with 9 minutes left. 4 seconds, and he gets a snap off. Harris, he's firing deep. He has a man, and it's dropped. A wide open touchdown for the Cardinals. Falls right through the receiver's hands. You a touchdown to elevate this lead.
And now they have a man down. You know that has got to absolutely kill Alondre White. He let it slip right through his fingers. It was right there. Could have been an absolute dinger of a touchdown pass. And instead it just slips through his fingers, and that might be the momentum shift that Clearview needs right now.
And the Shaw Cardinals looking put the nail in the coffin right there. I've been telling you about this all night. These receivers has been having steps on these cornerbacks, but the quarterback has not been able to place the ball in the right spot. But he finally placed the ball deep downfield in the right spot. But the receiver was just not able to corral that football and bring it for a touchdown. And now, instead of Shaw shutting the door in on this football game, the Clearview Clippers has a chance to come down and score and take the lead and take over this football game with 9 minutes and 4 seconds left to go in this game.
And if I'm Alondre White, I am as sick as a dog. Just slipped right through his fingers. I don't think I can stress this enough. It was this close, within inches of being a touchdown pass.
Inches of almost shutting this door shut. Now, I don't want to act like if Shaw would have scored there, the game would be completely over. But it's one step closer to the game being over. And now Clearview has all the confidence in the world, and their crowd is possibly going to get back into this football game.
Well,
Shaw defense looking to make another big stop. We're going to see if Shaw has what it takes to end this game out playing with some good defense they have been playing for most parts of this game.
The rest is going to matter entirely on what Clearview can draw up here.
And if I'm either coach, I'm saying discipline, discipline, discipline. We got to be disciplined here to win this football game.
Neither team can really afford a penalty.
Clearview finally gets the ball back. Stevens looks in the pocket. He's going to run upfield. He has the lane. Stevens is brought down, but not after a 14-yard gain for Joe Stevens.
That's a big first down right there, getting some momentum on your side, getting moving.
And as you can hear, this crowd is getting back into this football game, just what you need from the Clippers. A little short from the 50-yard line. This clock is running, and we're coming down in the clutch moments in this football game. Who is going to be the game changer in these spots for both teams?
Man, if I'm Coach Kaya right now, I've only got two words in my mind: ruthless aggression.
Agreed. Single back formation for the Clippers. Stevens takes the snap. Stevens rolls out to his left. There's a flag. Stevens fires downfield. He has a man caught. He's out of bounds. But we're going to see what happens. And there's a flag on the play. Will this play count?
We'll see what it was. We have another man
and
down for Clearview.
There's Cardinals players clapping, so this is looking like it will be, and it will be a offensive holding for the Clippers, a crushing play to take the air out of the arena right now.
And it was a brilliant pass to Braden Turner, would have gotten him another first down. This one right by the 30, and instead it gets ripped away from him with a holding call. That is just brutal. That is absolutely brutal.
Besides that one interception for Stevens, he has been playing really good at picking this defense apart. So if I'm Coach Kaya, I'll be irritated because of the late discipline issues with penalties. But at the end of the day, you're seeing your quarterback make good decisions. So I will still trust him in this situation. We're going to see.
I mean, this Clearview team really seems to be what you see is what you get. And what I'm seeing is pretty good. But it needs to clean up if it wants a chance of winning this game.
Indeed. We talked about it. Whoever's the more disciplined team is going to win this game. And in the first half, it looked like Shaw was the team making the most mistakes. But now later in this game, it has flipped, and it's Clearview who is has been the least disciplined team in the second half. This is going to be a first. Yeah.
That's just the way of the game. Sometimes you're the one benefiting, sometimes you're the one losing, but you cannot afford to make these mistakes.
This is going to be a 1st and 20 for the Clearview Clippers. Looks like a new quarterback's in for the Clippers, too.
Yeah, they have Braden Turner in the quarterback slot now. He's listed as both wide receiver and quarterback, so we'll see what he has.
Turner takes the snap. Turner is looking to run immediately. He didn't even want to pass. Turner is going to get brought down and get nothing. Negative yards for the Clearview Clippers. Changing quarterbacks up right there. I would think after seeing a quarterback you've been facing all game go out the game, I would kind of assume that this quarterback is here to run the ball possibly. And Clearview it's looking like they're going to keep Turner out on the field.
Yeah,
I don't know if
Joe
Stevens is hurt or
Stevens.
something.
He
Or
does. He doesn't appear to still be out there. I can't see his number on the sideline, but I can't see him in the spot either. It's still Braden.
Turner.
Still Braden Turner up there.
Turner. Single back formation. Turner rolls out. He's looking to pass. Turner. And he is gonna. Oh, spin move. Turner is making some moves out there, but it still gets nothing.
He's managing to avoid the sack, but that's not going to be nearly enough.
But it looks like he took a lot of damage on that play. Turner is still down on the field. Another injury for Clearview, and this is not what you want to see at the first game of the season. A bunch of players keep getting hurt.
Now, right here, I've got to question Coach Kaya just immensely. I don't understand why Braden Turner is out there. You have a good thing going with Joe Stevens. Why are you taking him out right now? This is one of the most pivotal drives of the game. You got him on 1st and 20. You need something big, and you bring in a guy just to run with him twice, and you get to 3rd and 19. Now is the time. Bring Stevens back in if he's not hurt.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, especially late into the game. If you want to try some tricky stuff with your backup quarterback, you do that stuff in the beginning of the game or first half, third quarter. But this is a clutch moment, 7 minutes left. And to add to the point, Clearview has not touched the ball in a minute. You got to remember, Shaw drove down the field. Shaw punted it. Ended up being mishap with the a mishap with the Clippers, but Shaw had the ball, to say the least, a lot this second half.
They've
Clearview finally touching the ball.
They've effectively had to go 2 drives without running an offensive play, and now they're at risk of just dropping this drive as well.
Indeed, that is not what you want to see.
Okay, it looks like Stevens is back in the game. He's back in the quarterback slot.
Yeah, but like I have to agree with you. I don't know what Coach K was thinking right there. Coach Kyle was thinking right there. Your quarterback hasn't been playing good. He had one bad play. Besides that, he's been playing great. Stevens, back to back to Stevenson, takes a snap, steps back in the pocket, fires deep in a double coverage, and there's not going to be nothing there. That play looked like cover one with a safety over the top, and that was never going to be open. That was double covered up right there.
Well, 4th and 19. You're
You
stuck.
either got to go for it or punt it and trust your defense. I would have to trust my defense right here. That's all you about can do right here.
I mean,
or you're going to give Shaw deep into their territory. That is not okay. And it looks like Coach
don't
K
really have a
is going to
choice.
punt this ball.
The truth is, in this situation, you don't have much of a choice. It's 4th and 19. You're inside your own 45. You cannot afford to go for it here.
Good snap. This punt is off, and it's going to be a good bouncing punt. And Shaw is getting away from the ball.
Yeah, they don't want to do the same thing that happened to Clearview.
So, Coach Knight here, if you're Coach Knight here, are you trying to end this game, this possession, or how much minutes are you trying to take off the clock? Because we both know, one possession could last 2 minutes if you run the clock correctly.
Here's the thing, right? If I'm Coach Knight, I know 3 things. I'm the better running team. Their offense isn't helping them much. And if I can take even 2-3 minutes off the clock, that might be it. We got 7 minutes right now.
They could potentially end the game on offense this possession.
They could. They got 7 minutes on the clock right now. If they can just run it as they like, I think that's it.
Hands it off, and he's going to run it outside, but Clearview is there. Lumpkin is still on his feet. Lumpkin trying to make something out of nothing, but he does not. Clearview stops him like 10 yards behind the field. That is not what you wanted right there. And if I'm Coach Knight, I'm not trying to be Nicky picky here, but outside read, I don't know, maybe run the ball up the middle where Lumpkin, there's a penalty. And that's just going to make it even worse on that penalty right there, blocking the back on the Shaw Cardinals.
Well, that should...
a lot of miscommunication with these referees. I don't want to critique anyone's job in particular, but the refs has not been to their full potential in this game, to say the least.
It appears the penalty has been declined. That'll put him on 2nd and 17. Oh, it's fumbled!
It's fumbled! And it looks like Eric Bolden still on that football. And that's going to be a 3rd and 19. And it's not even looking like Shaw Cardinals will take 2 minutes off this clock. Wow. If I'm Coach K, I'm thrilled by the way that my defense has locked in right now.
And you know what I'm seeing right now? I'm seeing nerves. I'm seeing nerves. Harris and Bolden, they both know how important they are to this team. They both know how important this drive is. And I think it's getting to them.
3rd and forever. 3rd and a mile. And they're going to go empty backfield on this play. It's going to be Harris all alone. Harris takes the snap. Harris steps up. Harris fires. He has a man in his court. Dejan Black is a couple yards short. And they're actually 5-6 yards short. I thought he had a little bit more yards. But now it'll be 4th and 4. Coach Knight has a choice. He already went for it on his side of the field before. What is he going to do
And that
in this
is going
position right here?
that is going to make things so much more difficult. You're staring down a 4th and 5. You're well within your own territory, but if you get this, you could end the game. And I don't say that
Coach
lightly.
Knight said, freak with it all. And he is going to go for it on 4th and 4. A big play, the biggest play of the game. 4th and 4. And there's going to be a timeout. Timeout for the Shaw Cardinals.
I was going to say, they had Dejan Black in the quarterback spot there. I was wondering if they were trying to draw him off sides.
We're going to see if they just wanted to just put a formation out there, and we'll see if Coach Knight just punched the ball. Honestly, this Shaw defense has been playing pretty good besides that middle portion of the game where the Clippers turned it up. So
I have to agree.
You kind of want to lean on your defense. But if you're that confident and, this is the type of coach he is. So I wouldn't be surprised of him going for it right here. So this is a big coaching moment, and it looks like Coach Knight is sending his offense back on the field.
Yeah,
Looks like they will be
Harris
going for it on this 4th down. This is a big play.
This is big. We'll see what they got.
Biggest play of the game coming up right here. 4th and 4 for Shaw. They're on their own side of the field. Harris takes the snap. Harris hands it off. And he has a seam. He's up the seam. And he has it outside. Shaw is going to score a touchdown. A gutsy play from Coach Knight. Dejan Black from the receiving position goes another running back and takes this ball all the way in for a touchdown. Shaw looking to close this game in.
I mean, I was watching what Clearview's defense was doing. Everybody went outside. They all watched the outside, and it left just one linebacker in the middle to try and watch whatever came at the middle, and that is the worst thing you can do when you have Dejan Black coming straight up the middle at you.
Man, we have talked about this all game. Dejan Black's speed is unreal, and it's just one on display right there. That speed is unreal. He got a seam, and it was gone. Daylights. It was over with from the jump. Once you gave a player like Dejan Black a hole like that, you ain't never catching him. You're never going to catch him.
And now Shaw going for 2.
Harris fires. Man-on-man coverage, and this pass is going to be intercepted. The two-point conversion is going to be intercepted. Clearview Clippers got 5 minutes to come back and try to do something in this football game. But if they want to win this football game, Clearview is going to have to strike immediately. They're going to have to strike fast. And in particularly, they probably want to score before the 2-minute warning, but we're going to see.
Now, on the stat sheet, that's not going to be too pretty. It's a 3rd interception. That one goes to Kudo Grant. But in reality, it's not going to matter that much because you're up 12 points. The enemy has 5.5 minutes. You're good. You're just good.
Yeah.
If you can make even one defensive stop, if you can stop them from scoring right here, right now, I think that's it. I don't
100%.
think that they have it in them after that.
And now the penalties and mishaps for the Clearview Clippers is going to be big because this is the possession where you have to go for it on 4th down. You can't get a false start and start the possession 1st and 20. That just can't happen. You can't start the possession 1st and 20. So we're going to see how disciplined they are, but this is a situation where they have to go and they're going to be slinging the football. We're going to see what they have drawn up. because a lot of Clearview Clippers passing attempts have been short range passes, but now they're forced to go deep here, and we're going to see how good is this team going deep. Will
Let's see
Shaw
if Shaw
use
wants
some
some trickery
trickery?
here. Ah, they're going to do it again. They keep on faking that.
And this ball is kicked off, and it's going to be a bouncer. Oh, he fumbled it!
Oh, dear. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Wow! That is not what
Oh,
you want to
goodness
see,
me.
and this crowd is deflated. Oh no, this ball is out of bounds. Clearview is gonna hit the ball.
Oh.
Excuse me, I thought he landed on that ball. I know Coach K, his heart is pounding because why? But they got it, so
I just about had a stroke watching that from the stands. I don't know how he's feeling.
to say the least, yes, I agree. Clearview looking to try to get back into this game with 5:28 left on the clock, down by 12.
And Clearview, they just spent a miracle getting that ball out of bounds, and now they have to pray for a second. They have to score, if you ask me, within 2 minutes. If they can't score within a 2-minute block, I think they're done.
I agree, but Clearview got to make sure they don't make no mistakes on this possession right here.
They have Stevens back on the field, smart.
Single back formation. Stevens takes a snap, rolls to his right, and Stevens is taken down immediately. Shaw is not allowing that pressure to come out no more. He was looking to do a QB draw, and that was not going.
So that brings up like 2nd and 13. Clock is still running. This is probably the worst case scenario shy of a turnover.
It looks like Coach K does not want his quarterback Stevens to sit in the pocket. All his throws are rolling out. We're going to see the sense of urgency, but the sense of urgency does not look like he's there for the Clippers. They are moving to the line slowly while being down 12 or under 5 to go in this game.
Got to move quicker.
They're in strip formation. The receivers are still not set. Stevens
3
is talking
seconds
to
on the
his
play
team.
clock.
Oh, that's going to be a false start. This is not what you
Oh,
want.
man.
Clearview is falling apart at the end of this football game.
It's like what I said about nerves with Harris and Bolden. When they had nerves, they fumbled the ball. Clearview's getting nerves. They're starting to lose their discipline. 2nd and 18 now.
Stevens snaps to the right, passes out to Stevenson. Stevenson's not going to get nothing. This Shaw defense is on everything, and Clearview just wants to keep going it short.
Oh,
and I don't understand why, but they're going to keep going short.
A Shaw player came up with the football.
Yeah, but the ref's going to call it down right now. But if I'm Coach K here, I got to wonder, why are you not trying to push the ball down the field? Don't want to be too critical in situations like this, but you got to wonder while watching this game, why are you not attempting this? Now this is going to be a 3rd and 20.
I have to agree, for the second time in this game, they're in 3rd and 19. They're now under 4 minutes to go. This is not looking good.
Stevens, single back formation. Stevens takes the snap. Stevens rolls out to the right. Stevens looking for a man. Stevens firing deep in a double coverage. And that pass is caught on the sideline.
And they will say it's incomplete.
That is going to be incomplete, and this is going to be a 4th and 20 for the Clearview Clippers. Now the biggest moment of the game is to await us.
The clock is stopped, but I think that might have been Clearview's last best hope. The fact that that ball wasn't in, I think they might be done.
It will take a miracle just to get a first down here for the Clearview Clippers. The Clippers are on thin ice right here, having to go for 4th and 20 on their own.
Appears to be about 14-yard line.
On their own side of the field. And this is going to be blown dead by the officials. It's going to be a timeout on Clearview. I like that right now, to call a timeout. Man, what a tale of two halves, I tell you. The first half, it looked like Shaw was a team with discipline issues. In the second half, it's all Clearview. with discipline issues. And like me, you brought up at halftime, whoever's the more disciplined team is going to win this game. And in the second half, Shaw has been the far more disciplined team.
I think that what Shaw's advantage really is that their play style somewhat allows them to outrun these kinds of issues because they have a tough front seven, they have a tough run defense. That means that Clearview can't really get as many clear openings, so a penalty won't hurt as much. And with their heavy running style, with a bunch of guys who can do it, eventually at some point the dam's going to break. And the dam broke, I think, about 2 touchdowns ago. So we're already in trouble. Clearview is.
Shaw is looking to play spoiler for Clearview season opener here. A 4th and 20, the biggest play of the game for the Clearview Clippers and both teams. And it
Oh,
looks
and it
like
might be a
another
false
false
start.
start.
Oh
Oh
no.
no!
Oh
This
no.
is just making it worse. Adding
Oh
fuel to the
no.
fire that already became, and now it looks like a wildfire.
Oh
Fourth
my
down and
goodness.
26. Biggest play of the game. Shaw looking to play spoiler. Stevens steps up in the pocket. Stevens fires to nobody, and that's going to be incomplete. Shaw takes
Oh
over.
man.
First and goal for the Shaw Cardinals.
Oh man.
34-22 with
Oh
3 minutes
man.
and 29 seconds remaining.
Well, this is a disaster scenario, basically. It doesn't get worse. You had a good lead. You had a good game going coming into the half. You managed the first score of this half, and then you have allowed 3 unanswered scores. You went for it on 4th and 25 on your own 10-yard line. You didn't get it, and now Shaw's in position to completely shut the game if it isn't already done.
Yeah, this game looks pretty clear cut and dry right now with a 12-point lead in your own
Oh
in
man.
their own red zone. Yeah, it looks like this game is just about over with, and Shaw will play spoiler in the Clippers home opener.
Well, I'll tell you this. I said coming out of the half, Shaw has to work on discipline, 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 and they have done exactly that. And I got to say, I'm pretty sure that's the reason they're winning this football game.
I can say that, indeed, for sure. Shaw, what they do? I mean, there's not much you can do but pound it in the end zone right here.
I mean, yeah, they've got the guys to do it, especially now that Lumpkin's back in the game.
Snap is made. Harris, and his main pick. Oh, is it not intercepted? Wow, that play could have been a pick six right there.
It very well could
Wow.
have been.
Why even why even propose a throw right there when you've been running the ball so good? But on the flip side of things, Clearview has dropped like 6 picks this game. And I'm not over exaggerating. It might be
I
more than
mean,
6 picks they have dropped. But if that could have been a pick six and a game flipper. And I think Coach Knight might just be okay with running the ball with the rest of this game. We'll see.
I
Two back
hope he's better
formation.
than okay with it.
Hands it off to Lumpkin. First tackle is missed. Lumpkin is brought down after making one tackle miss. Getting back to the line of scrimmage. Dwayne Lumpkin looking like he's slowing down a little bit. But that is not a problem if he is because the game he has played, this Shaw team would not be up if Dwayne Lumpkin was not playing.
Now, let me go back to that pass. I don't even understand why you ponder passing. You have Dwayne Lumpkin, you have Eric Bolden, you have all these guys. I don't understand why you would pass.
Bowden makes a move. Bowden is hit, and Bowden is in for a touchdown. The first two defenders couldn't stop him. Eric Bowden, a touchdown, putting the nail in the coffin of this football game.
I
There's going to
mean,
be an unsportsmanlike penalty. It looks like on the Shaw Cardinals, but it does not matter at this point in the game.
I mean, up 18, 2 minutes 50. What more do you want? What more could you possibly want?
And if I'm Coach Knight here, I am excited for this football season because in my personal opinion, if you have a good offensive line and a decent running game, that can take you far in high school football. You don't need to have an electric passing game in high school football to take you far. With that running game, with Eric Bolden and Dwayne Lumpkin, this team certainly can make a playoff push this year.
So it looks like they will apply the unsportsmanlike penalty on the kickoff.
And
And
there's going to be another interception on the
on the Shaw Cardinals. Harris fires another. That one's picked off by Braden Turner. And again, it's not going to look nice on the stat sheet to have 4 interceptions on the game. But when half of those come in 2-point conversions, I think it's mostly excusable.
I don't know if they necessarily count 2-point conversions as interceptions, but that'd be an interesting little thing to find out. But if you're just now joining in, it is 40-22, all Shaw in the second half. But if you're just now tuning in, this score does not indicate how good of a football game this has been. This game has been a really close, hard-nosed, tough football game for both teams. This has been a very evenly matched team. The score doesn't show it, but the score tells you one thing, that Shaw has been very disciplined in the second half, and Clearview has shot themselves in the foot.
Well, I mean, this is really just a tale of 4 quarters here. First quarter, nobody gets anything going. Second quarter, both explode 14 each. They're both looking wonderful. Third quarter, they both score 6. Then Shaw starts to pull away. And now in this fourth quarter, Shaw has entirely left the station, and Clearview cannot get themselves on the tracks.
The Clearview offense looking like they was gonna start rolling, but soon as after the first possession, because the first possession out of halftime they scored. Ever since that first possession, Shaw has been locked and loaded defensively, not allowing nothing. I said from the beginning of the game when both defenses playing good, this Shaw defense is really greedy with and stingy with yards. And ever since that first possession in the second half, they have been really stingy with the yards. Shaw with the fake
They
kick
do their little
again.
trick again. They will be kicking off from the 25 because of the unsportsmanlike, which will put Clearview in a good position. But I don't know how much that'll help.
Ball is kicked off and is going to be fielded by a Clearview player. And he jukes to the outside and he's going to have nothing. He's going to get slammed down before it's 45, and there's some pushing and shoving at the end of the game. You do not want to see that. You just want to see both teams be respectful and get out of here respectfully after a nice, good football game like this. There is currently 2 minutes and 42 seconds left to go in this football game, and Shaw is leading 40-22.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's over. Because unless Clearview can put together either 3 touchdowns or 2 touchdowns and a field goal within 2 minutes and 42 seconds, there's no way they win.
I agree. I mean, we have saw crazier things happen in high school football, but I was safe to say this game is a bit much over. Another
We're getting
whistle
the
being blown.
whistles.
A timeout for Shaw. Look like they have the right personnel on the field. Shaw still wanting to have the right personnel on the field for this late game scenario. Can't say I don't blame them after the last 2 seasons going 2-8 and 1-8. I don't blame them for even want to be just super protective over this game, even with 2 minutes of 42 seconds left being up this much.
Yeah, I can see why. I could understand if they didn't do it, I would understand because you're up 18 points. The opponent hasn't been able to get offense going this quarter. I would understand if they did, but I like that they did because it shows that they still value the system that they have, and they want to make sure they get that system right even when the game is effectively over. And I like that.
No, I agree. Thompson back in shotgun formation. Thompson takes a snap and he's going to hand it off to Stevenson. Stevenson up the middle. Stevenson has the lane. Stevenson is finally tripped up. If he was not tripped up right there, Chris Stevenson had a lane, had a possibility of scoring a touchdown there. He had nothing but green grass ahead of him. But luckily for Shaw, they tripped him up right before he was able to get that edge.
Right. But now it's running again, and they're down to 220.
It
Clearview
seems
finally
like
showing a little hustle, but it might be too little too late.
I think Clearview looks like they're conceding defeat here. They're just handing the ball off and not attempting no downfield passes. I haven't seen a downfield attempt since the first half. And this is going to be handed off again. And he is
Yeah,
going to get nothing. It looks like my assumption was correct. It looks like they are going to concede defeat here. And the Shaw Cardinals looking like they will be playing spoiler at the season opener for the Clearview Clippers. Looks like Shaw's going to start this season off 1-0.
yeah, Christian Stevenson just had no play there. There was nowhere for him to go. If you're going to run a sweep like that to the short side of the field, you better have more blockers than they've got defenders, but they just didn't.
And this clock is still running, and they have no sense of urgency to get on this ball. You would
Down
tend to
under a
like see
minute
teams
30.
to still try, even though there's no faith, just to have that as a team. But they're going to hit his ball off again. It's fumbled, and Stevens is going to be the one to fall on it. And there's going to be another penalty. Number 21 for Shaw Cardinals was going to be get hit with an unsportsmanlike on number 12 for the Clearview Clippers. I saw that. Very unnecessary, especially when you're up this much. You don't want to see stuff like that. You want your team to be disciplined, especially when you're up in a game like this. You don't want that type of narrative to be put on your team.
That's number 12, Zion Harris. He was somewhat injured earlier on in this game. It'll give the Clippers an automatic first down, but even
You're
with
just helping
that,
them out. Why? You got the win. They're conceding defeat. Why even talk smack at this point? You won the game. You got bragging rights. The game is over. You know.
you know, sometimes
The
you get a little spirited.
enough said. Emotions do sometimes get the best of you. Can't say that never happened to me before, but Stevens with two back formation. Stevens takes a snap, hands it off, and he's gonna get a 5-yard game.
Looked like number 5, Devin Dembinski. We've mostly been looking at him on defense. He's been a linebacker most of this game. I think that's the first time he's come in on offense.
It looks like coaching staff for the Clippers is gonna empty the bench and let some of the backups get some touches for this game.
No harm in doing it.
No harm in doing it, especially if you're conceding defeat the way you are right now. You might as well let the backups get some play. Deminsky still in the backfield. Harris takes a snap. He fakes it. And they're going to go deep. And he is going to go deep. And it's going to be incomplete. Kind of a mystery call right there. They refused to go deep the last couple possessions and now going deep. Kind of interesting calls going here.
I mean, it's reasonless. You're going to stop the clock with 22 seconds left. You've already down 18. You haven't been taking shots.
And you got the ball with 3 minutes to start this possession, and you ran it down in 22 seconds. Why even take a shot at this point? You could have took shots earlier in the game.
Exactly. It's like, why even bother? But, you know, maybe they're just testing out plays. In which case, more power to him, I suppose.
We're coming up on the end of this football game. Stevens takes a snap. They're going to go deep again. Stevens firing. He has a man. He's wide open. It's caught. Stevens going to connect with his receiver. It's going to be a touchdown. But all for nothing it's going to look like. But bringing up the questions me and you have, why not do that earlier in the chance? The last possession before Shaw was up by that much. Why wait until 22 seconds? Who knows besides the man that's calling plays down there? Not to be too critical in this game, but it looks like Shaw will still end up being the victors of this game.
Well, if nothing else, it's going to make the score line look a little bit prettier for Clearview.
Indeed. Make it look like the game was. The game was a good, hard-nosed football game. Sometimes you have close games that feel like blowouts. Sometimes you have blowouts look like close games. And this in particular looks like a blowout, but like a close game. Stevens takes a snap. Stevens runs it outside, and this two-point conversion is going to be good. The ref signals it's going to be in, and now it's going to be a 10-point lead. But it's only going to be 14 seconds left. This game is indeed all but over, to say the least. Because the onside kick score immediately. And to be honest, it's probably going to take all 14 seconds to score a touchdown. So,
now,
looks like they will be playing spoiler.
I'll tell you what. If Clearview attempts an onside kick right now of all times, I think I'm going to have an aneurysm. Because if they're going to go through that whole drive looking like they're not trying, then throw 2 deep shots, go for 2, and then try an onside kick, I'm going to wonder why they didn't just do that before.
Yeah, that's why I was bringing up my point earlier. Like, even if you are going to concede defeat, at least go out with a bang, trying to, like, you're about to lose, but still go out there and try. You don't want to put that sense in your team's head. So, like later on down the field, when you go down in the game, they might be thinking, like, oh, it might be over. You never want to put that sense of it's over in your team's head, especially in the first game of the year.
Again, it's that sense of decisiveness. You keep trying or you concede. You can't just do both.
Yeah, and that's where it messes up at because he was doing both. He was conceding, but also trying to score towards the end when it got too late. He had 3 minutes starting that drive, ran it down in 22 seconds, then started going deep and found the way to the end zone. Got a question, why did you want to go deep earlier? Because like we brought up, Stevens has been playing a pretty good game besides the one interception. Besides the one interception, Stevens has been playing great. And it looks like they will be going on an onside kick right here.
I mean, why? What for? What is there to gain?
And the onside kick is caught and brought down immediately.
And now the rest is academic. All that is left is to kneel it out, and Shaw will steal a road victory on their first game of the new year.
This is very important for the Shaw team, especially with confidence coming here into a hostile environment, able to play spoiler and take away the season opener for this team. This got to build a lot of confidence for this Shaw football team right now, especially because they want to be better than the last 2 years, and they're starting off on the right foot, going from 2-1, 2-8, excuse me, to 1-8, and now they're starting the season off 1-0. This is a great way to start the season. This is a confident coaching staff, a confident team, and
I mean, you walk into an opposing team's stadium coming off a 2-8 year when they had 5 wins. They had you beat in performance by 250%. And you come in, you beat them by 10 in a packed house. That's pretty good. That is pretty good.
I agree. When I was talking, the running backs had a big time for this game, and we're gonna bring that up momentarily in the post game show. The kneel down is here, and it was knee down. Shaw Cardinals will play spoiler, and this season over for the Clearview Clippers, taking home the dub, coming in to Tom Hoke Stadium and taking away a 40-30 victory. The Shaw Cardinals take the season opener.
I mean, the only thing you could ask for better from Shaw is if they just beat him by 30 and that was it. But they proved that they can come into a game, they can play from behind, they can come back, and they can make things happen. They can make the run game happen. They can make short passes happen. They made deep passes work one time, but it wasn't really there all game. And most importantly, they can make adjustments as the game continues. They continued to up their defensive strategy. They continued to rely more on the run as the pass continued to fail. It's just smart football, and that is something I love.
And I agree with you wholeheartedly there because if you noticed during the game, Stevens was breaking out the pocket, a very elusive quarterback. And give a shout out to Stevens. He had a wonderful game this game besides that one pick. But besides that, he was elusive in everything. And Shaw finally put a QB spy. And that QB spy did wonders. He was not able to get out that backfield ever since they blocked in that QB spot. So that's one room that you can give a good to the Shaw Cardinals. But the post game is here right now, and I'm gonna give some of my thoughts on this game. Like I was bringing up earlier in the broadcast, if you have a great run game, that can do wonders for you in high school football. And
Exactly.
I was speaking to Eric Bolden, and he gave such high praise to this offensive line. He said, I've been with these guys for a couple of years, and I feel so confident in them. You got Jamari Good game in there, who is fantastic, who is leading the group. I spoke to him too, but everyone, including the coaching staff and all the players, are really high on this offensive line. And you can't do it all by yourself. But then let's bring up the star player of the game, Dwayne Lumpkin, doing it on defense and doing it on offense. By far the best player on the field for both teams. And then a short runner-up second is none other than Dejon Black. His speed, I wonder what that dude's 40 is. Because
Yeah.
when he gets some vision, it's curtains.
The simple fact of the matter is Lumpkin and Black are the players of the game, and it's not even a question. Lumpkin was arguably the most dominant player of this entire game, and I don't think it's close. Dejon Black, on the other hand, I believe he had 2 scores to his name, and both of them were absolutely electric. Once he found even a single seam, it was just over. Now, he didn't always find the seam, of course. Not everything is a winner. But between Black, between Lumpkin, and between Harris getting a little bit better as the game went on, that is Xavier Harris, the quarterback, I think that Shaw has a lot to be excited about. And even beyond the offensive stuff, I think they have a lot more to be excited about on defense because their defense in that second half, along with their run defense the whole way throughout, was just excellent, top to bottom.
I gotta agree with you right there. That defensive line was very impressive there. And let's talk about the play of the game and a gutsy call from Coach Knight. 4th and 4, handed it off to Dejon Black. He was a receiver, but he handed it off to him just based off his speed. And that offensive line gave him a, a seam, and he was gone. A player didn't even touch him, and they was in their own side of the field, and he didn't even get touched. That's how fast this dude is. That
Yeah,
speed is unreal.
and I mean the offensive play just completely read the defense. They said, we don't think you're gonna clog the middle. We think you're gonna go to the outsides because that's what we've been running." And the defense, they parted the Red Sea, and Dejon Black sprinted through at Mach 4. It was just you couldn't draw up something more perfect on Madden. You, it is just the best call at the best time in the best way.
I gotta agree with you there, but this is the end of the football game. It's gonna be the end of the broadcast too. Shaw Cardinals is your victors. They play spoilers in the season opener for the Clearview Clippers. The end of this game is gonna be 40-30. My name is Jacob Brown. My partner Will Deans, and I hope you guys enjoyed this broadcast. And high school football is back. We'll see you guys in the next one.